How's it going, my beautiful people, my lovely people? How are we doing? Very good. Good afternoon. Welcome to this streaming, really, guys. So you can see how generous the platinum members are, huh? Indeed, guys. And we're going to make the stream public. There it is. So you can join us. We have an appointment directly, 10 minutes ago at 2 in the afternoon. Thanks to everyone who joined us in the WhatsApp survey. Thanks to everyone who is directly here keeping an eye on all of us. Thank you very much. I am infinitely grateful. All right. And we already have our good friend Gustavo. Yes, waiting for greetings. How's it going, friend? Renee? Second? Perfect. Greetings, Professor from Venezuela. Alice Mori, welcome, brother. Very well, Esteban PC support. How are you? Good afternoon, Master Victor Dandes and the entire Buho community. Perfect, brother. Very good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes. That's right, guys. It's not an old movie. It's not a remake of yesterday's. No, install Windows like a pro. Give it a custom ISO plus optimization step by step. Let me tell you. Please read the video description very well. Right. From the start, if you are currently user number 7, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Good afternoon to everyone. We also have here our good friend, the super great owl, Weadmin. Yes, I have my friend Salvador and Jesus. They are currently muted, because, they are muted right now due to a topic we are going to discuss behind the scenes. Let me tell you a little bit. We are going to create a customized ISO, directly with what is down here in the video description, using methodologies that even yesterday, those who were fortunate, we provided with 2 very special guests, a training with tools that have been available on the internet for a long time, but had not really been taught to use them to their full potential, so that the tool that was shown to them is used almost to 95% of its capacity, which we understood at 75%, but now 100% of the people who were with me behind the scenes have mastered it. Good afternoon, greetings, how are you? Luis Gomez, welcome. Right away, I'll tell you what we're going to do. You'll be able to modify, you'll understand directly how to customize Windows, how to optimize it, how to enhance it, how to address all the questions that arise directly from ISOs and customizations under Windows 11 and Windows 10 with pleasure. We are going to resolve them for you today. Okay? This streaming is also interactive, so anything you think of asking me in real time via microphone, I invite you to join the NIT. Okay? Then, let's see. Let's see. I'm going to click here to copy. Please, I'm going to ask you very kindly, guys, if you can share this streaming with me. I would really appreciate it. If you can share it with your groups, your communities, obviously without making the administrators of those communities angry. First, remember, knock on the door, ask for permission. Hey, can I share this link from the Omicron community? Go ahead. Okay? Always, everything with permission. Alright? I also don't want you to be removed, guys. There are some communities that are very, very closed off. Let's see. This is BGS. I think so. Alright. BGS. Very well. I will be releasing the meet link right now in the WhatsApp group. Okay? I will also send the link directly to my Commander-in-Chief. To the good Luis Bell so he can join because he couldn't be with us yesterday. But I think it's Abadiki. Yes, it's Abadiki. So, everything is perfect. Everything is great so he can join us. Thank you. Everything that is the staff of the OUI admin, the OUI administrators, and the OUI testers. Everything is perfect. Right? Everything is going smoothly. As it should be, guys. As it should be. As it has always been. Ready. Let's put this here. Everything is very good. Excellent. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome, guys. That's it. Those who are joining, I'm happy to say, to have you here with us. Okay. Guys, we will be able to build an ISO based on your needs, based on your budget. No, especially based on your needs, okay? Everything we are going to do is really about sharing with the community. Agreed? One minute, guys. Don't be afraid, guys, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Feel free to ask anything you want. Express yourselves, we will be happy to address it. Hello, Victor. Greetings to everyone from Spain. Felix, welcome. Friend will share the ISO on disk. Samurai. No, I am not going to share what we do in this streaming. I will not share it on Discord. I will not share it anywhere. I will only share it with the people who are here with their camera, with their microphone, in the meet with me. Those are the ones it will be shared with. And it's because we are not going to do just one, we are going to do several. Why? Because in this case, the people who were with me yesterday are each going to create an island. Now, Victor, I don't have the hardware to create an ISO, don't worry. Today, this day, Saturday, is very special. 26 of April. Because I will be able to provide you with remote hardware so you can create your own compilation. Yes? So that you can create that compilation directly. Okay? So, you already know. Raul, let's see the updates. What phrase this time, Victor? In another live session, I couldn't because of work, but the cow is present. Well, there is Raul. As I said, guys, join the meet. Shall we? Join the meet, because there I will share the screen of something we can't show here on streaming, especially due to privacy details in the ISO that you build. Any little secret that you have in your own communities and want to share with the community. We are going to resolve some doubts about any ISO you have. I don't know, you ask me or you ask him. Network of expert. You know what, Victor? There is a certain ISO from a certain content generator. Well, I've seen that it can be improved. We can project it. We'll see. But yes, go ahead. Can we do it? I'm not close to it. We are not close here in the community. Go ahead. In this case, the ISO we want to customize is from a content generator, and we can perfect it at a given point. We'll see if we can do it. Because it's always better when we customize Windows to start from scratch, something official. Because we won't encounter any detail or defect. Although we will be able to do it. No problem. And if we somehow find in that customized ISO from your favorite content creator something that you see who could serve as feedback for the content creator and the influencer of that ISO. Oh look, we found these details, or we perfected this. You will also help them a lot, okay? There's their bar, and if you casually, I don't have a camera and microbus C. And how do you think? Don't say, he must have it, brother, he must have it. Look for it. We have a phone. We have a smartphone nowadays. Who doesn't have a smartphone today? There we have the microphone and the camera. There's no need for you to get on the PC. Alright, guys. Well, the meet is now open, as I said, right now. There. The meet is open, so you can join without any problem. Without further ado, I'm going to hand over the cameras and microphones to our good friend Jesus. Okay? Our good friend Jesus, who will be explaining, yes? A premise that several members of the community asked us about how to incorporate the language in English. Right? In English. Right? Regarding the Windows 10 and LTSC ISO. Okay? So, perfect. Let's see that integration. From there, the hardware recommendation we saw yesterday. If you have a device, let's quickly move to the next screen. What are we going to need for this cocktail? Yes, Lou. Super cool. Super good. What are we going to need for this? Look, I'm going to put it here. My friend, please. Okay. Ready? Sorry. Integrate in Spanish into an ISO from English. You said it wrong? Perfect. There it is. Thank you. Thank you. Moreover, let yourself... I'm going to activate the microphone here so that I can send greetings to the audience, to my super Russian letters. Now, yes. Come on, brother. Greetings, community. How are we doing? Well, here in this tutorial, in this video, at the request of many of you who are always How do we integrate a language pack into an English ISO? Get the ISO in another language, but it's not in Spanish? How do I do it? Because if I do it from the installation, I download the package, I end up with a kind of Spanglish or another language mix. So, at the request of many users, we are going to teach how to add Spanish to an ISO from scratch. This method works the same for Spanish, Portuguese, any language. So let's get started. Excellent, excellent, very good, God. What do you think, Raul? Victor says. I can no longer join the WhatsApp group. Don't tell me that. Well, don't worry, Raul. Therefore, we will solve those little issues we also have, okay? So that you can enter without any inconvenience. In fact, right now I'm already releasing directly on Discord, right? Also on the Meet link, okay? So you can join without any inconvenience. Okay. It's done. Perfect. Remember to join with the microphone muted. If not, well, it's done. So there are no problems. Suddenly, during the live session, you will see me muted along with the community. Because obviously, these are things we will handle internally here. In case you want to get the full scoop, you join the group, join the call, and find out. Alright, very well. Okay. It's your chance, guys. Today is your chance. Yes, don't worry, Jesus. I'm going to do the following. To show the screen of what you're going to do, I'm going to log in directly from my computer to the roots, and from there, so you don't have to be on the screen. Alright. Perfect. We already have the first owl right away, upon request. How's it going, Raul? Very good. Welcome, brother. That's it. Okay. Come on, guys. Let's give it our all. The streaming might go on, maybe for quite a while. Right? How's it going, Raulito? Welcome, brother. Welcome, welcome. Yes, it can go on for a long, long, long time. But that's okay. We have to enjoy it. We have to enjoy it. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. The body knows it. So, that's it. Okay? Just give me a minute because I think I have a problem with my Rudex. We're already having problems in paradise, folks. Here it is, here it is. No, but no, I don't want to share that screen. I want to share the other one. Which is the other one, guys? Which is the other one? Well, this one. I'm going over here. Okay? Here it is. Let's get into the rudeness. But before we get into the rudeness, I'm going to go quickly to the cool camera. Everything you can think of, guys. Really, really, everything you can think of. We won't be able to do today. Don't tell me that. I won't be able to connect here during the day. Well, I'll have to do it from here. We'll have all the keyboards connected here so that there are no issues. I'm going to give it the one. I'm missing the mouse. I'm missing the mouse. I'm missing the mouse. 1 minute, please. There it is. I brought the mouse. He did it, guys. We're going to create it and test it on physical equipment. That's also one of the cool things we have on this side. See? On this side. I'm trying to find the mouse that seems to have gone missing. I've been searching the room thoroughly, looking under furniture and in every corner. The mouse is important for my work, so I am determined to keep looking until I find it. I can't see the mouse. I don't think so. I can see the mouse. I can't see the mouse, nor can I type in the bug. I didn't expect this, guys. I didn't expect this. That's it. There's no problem. Let's do it differently. I'll use Parsec, and everyone will be happy. I think so. Since when? Since when did they finish, guys? One moment, please. One moment, please. I'm going to have to set it up later. Let's put the darn parsec here. Let's do it now. And in a bit, I'll also share screens. Don't worry. Those who are joining will see it well. So now we're gonna share it, and so on. That's it. The stream on YouTube will obviously last maybe a while, like yesterday, maybe an hour, maybe just 30 minutes. I don't know. So that you find out now, and share it. If more people join, we'll keep it going. If the interactivity goes well, we'll keep it going. But if I see this dying, guys, I'll wrap it up and that's it. That's it, that's it. I'll close this. I'll close this. Let's see the updates. From what was mentioned, it sounds and looks interesting. Don't worry, the necessary adjustments will be made for everything to go well. Yes, guys. Mainly because it's going to be the PC where you will log in. Yes, I will lend a remote computer to each of you. Those who obviously don't have a computer, obviously, you will need to have a super extra ingredient here. And the only thing you need is a good internet connection. At least, yes. Preferably around 5 or 6 megabytes so that the remote connection has as little latency as possible. And you can do some good things. Very, very good things. Agreed? That's it. I'm going to put this here. Perfect. Let's give it 50 megabytes here. And see, my voice is already failing me, guys. I'm going to have to put on the filter. I'm still not well, guys. I'm still not well with my vocal cords. I'm still not well. I haven't been able to heal, my dear friends. I haven't been able to heal. But well, there it is. More owls are joining. I'm very glad. That's good. Just in time. There it is. I want to see if now, yes, now this thing is going to let me because it will. It will because it will. I'm going to give it here. I'm going to... Oh, now which one is it? Now which one is it? Now which one is it? It is. Which version was it? Is it this one or the other one? No, this isn't it. I just realized. Differently, I'm going here. There. There it is. I hit the nail on the head. I hit the nail on the head. Guys, here. Now yes. Now yes. Now yes, now yes. So I'm going to give it here. The machine that Jesus has. Well, we're going to do it remotely within another remote plus another remote. One, 657. 6. 5, 7 already, and where it was, and we're going to paste it right here, exactly at this moment in time, and we are going to paste it here, precisely. Okay. Perfect. Let's give it adaptive scaling. Very. Excellent. Now we're very much there. Now I can finally release the screen. You can give it here. And you can see me well without any problem. Let me know if not. The broadcast is already showing the screen. Well, yes, I think the broadcast is already showing. Yes, the broadcast is already showing. Here too. See? Allow. Perfect. The owls are coming in, guys. Excellent, excellent. Yes, it looks good. Perfect. Now, so that the owls here can see it in real time, especially my users, and whatever needs to be censored on YouTube, don't miss any of the things we're going to start doing. Okay? I'm going to capture the little window. Perfect. There it is. You can also see everything in real time. Because, obviously, if you watch it through YouTube, we're going to have a delay. We're going to have a delay, and we don't want that. I'll tell you right away. That's why I said, you're leaving. How's it going? How's it going? Juan, how are you, brother? How are you? Welcome, welcome. Say hello to the community. Come on, brother Raul. Come on, come on. That's it, that's it. If you want to unmute and say hello, go ahead.
No problem. Good afternoon. How are you, Victor? I hope you are having a fantastic and truly wonderful day.
All good, my friend, all good. Already prepared. That's all. Juan, perfect. Very well. Good afternoon, dear Victor. It's not audible. What do you mean it's not audible? Yes, it is audible. Loud and clear. Well, I'm looking at the audio parameters here and it's audible. Now, obviously, watch out. Maybe you can't hear what the friends in the meet are saying. Okay? For that, you need to join the meet so you can hear the other members. Alright? That's the charming part. Also, so, because when you join the meet, it's not just to listen to the members, but also to hear their concerns. Any problem they've had, how are we going to solve it? Any doubt that even, maybe that same doubt that user X has in the meet, maybe you have it too. And thanks to him asking, now that existential crisis that many of us have will be resolved. Agreed? That's it. Very well. Watch out. I need you to also interact. If you're going to join the meet. Okay? Interact. If you don't interact in the meet, my friend, the tools we give and that we are going to give, and in this case maybe gift you, will only be for the person who interacts. Okay? If not, well, my friend, with regret. Why? Because this material today was dedicated to my Platinum users. It was for them, the Platinum members of the Google community, but today they said, let's do it. Free, guys. Let's really let them see us and follow us. I have a Lenovo B5045. I would like to upgrade to Windows 11. Lenovo B5045. Okay, great. Let me see that Lenovo model, I don't remember. What features does it have? Lenovo came with Windows 10, I can see that right away. A Lenovo. But what features? My god, if you use this PC, change product, homepage, configure support, I want to see what features it has, not just be told. The driver part must have something good, I hope so. Okay. Automatic update control software. Product. Manual guides. No, I don't want any of that. I want to know its features. Features which are the most important in project pages.
What do I think? That device comes with 4 GB DDR3 and a 320 GB hard drive at 5400 RPM. It seems so.
Well, if that's the case, perfect. Thank you.
At least there's a device with similar features on Amazon. With those inspections?
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Come on, Super, please. Let the user confirm the features it has. Because it might come with those, but someone might have used a component.
Indeed. There it is. Well, my dear, if you can give us a little feedback on the hardware you have, gladly, so we can see what... Right? To be able to see and give you a good solution. But, well, if it's like the ones Jesus just mentioned to me, well, then yes, we will have details to migrate from the official draft. Unless we bypass it and make it as optimized as possible. Okay? But if I were you, I'd rather stay on 10. In any case, we would install a JOT 2032 and that's it. It's going to turn out very, very well. Damn, there it is. We have a new owl. Paco Flores, welcome, brother. And well, don't worry, Spain first. The truth is that at the end of the day, it happens to all of us. Also here, it really does. Well, let's start, Jesus. What do you think? Let's start. Let's see how the integration of languages is going to happen. And from there, well, later we will start with other optimizations of a customized ISO as more people arrive, right? And we are all learning. I'm going to put this on full screen. And so, Jesus, I hand over the cameras and microphone to you, okay? Remember that before asking a question, you raise your hand here. Raul, perfect, you raise your hand. In the meet, and we give an opportunity for you to express us any doubts you have. Agreed? Perfect. I'm expanding this now. And that's it, Jesus. Go ahead.
All right. Well, now we are going to start. Many users have commented that always the LTSC and iOS versions. You know that these are the versions that always have questions about how to get this version. But this version is in English, it's in another language. How do I set it to Spanish? And we know that if, for example, we do this, we go to settings, to language. Language being me, we can add the language, but many times we end up with a Spanglish. There are many ways to integrate the language natively into an ISO. In this case, we are going to do it with these ISOs. For any of these, the procedure is exactly the same, as you can see. There is a very famous little page out there that is always mentioned in the group where these versions can be found. We can't mention it here because, well, we know how sensitive YouTube is. But for any of these, the procedure is the same. First of all, the first thing we need to do is decompress the image. Let's do it, for example, with this one. We can either mount it, copy it, or decompress it, no problem. The important thing is to have the files. The second step we need to take is to check what compilation that system has. We can do this. When we download it, the information often appears. In this case, well, this is the HOS system. We have a 24H2 26100.3955. When we download, almost all the pages tell us what build that version is. In this case, this EOP, if I'm not mistaken, is 26100.141742.
Hold on a moment. While it sets up, you tell me when you need to put it. Do you want me to put it? Jesus? Whenever you want to show a page when you say you're ready, just tell me to change the scene and I'll show it without any problem. In this case, if I'm not mistaken, it's this build.
The one we're going to work with on Windows 11, which comes from this little page 26100.1742. That's the build. So we need to browse the internet and get those files. It's very easy. Just search on Google for language packs. X languages, and we find them here. I have already downloaded them in advance, and we have them. 26100, 26100, 1742 are these files. We are going to put even here with the name. You can search for these files by this name, which are exactly the same, and the format. These files are the ones that will integrate into our ISO. The Spanish from Spain. Well, I decided on Spanish from Spain because it's like the most common language. The one from Mexico always has little details.
Any other Spanish language in Latin America has details, but Spanish from Spain, Castilian. Spain is more universal. Before you continue, sorry, Jesus. Super says, he already answered us. I have a 320 hard drive. It came with 4 of RAM. Perfect, as our good friend Jesus just said. My brother. Since it's a mechanical unit, it's better to stay on Windows 10 or do what we're about to create, an LTSC version. Based on JOT, and that will help you a lot in optimizing your equipment. Now, go ahead, Jesus.
These files we have here are simply packages. Cat y test are simply packages. We can do it via terminal, but, well, since this is a tutorial for everyone, we're going to use a tool, Unattended. Quite well known, quite simple. Everything in a very graphical, very intuitive way. We can download the free version. It's more than enough for us. We don't have to pay for a license or anything. As we can see here, the normal free version. We go here to add ISO image, WIM. We can add an ISO image and install WIM. Install DSD or a partitioned install image. This SWM format was used for, let's say, an ISO image on several DVDs previously. We would install the system, and the system would ask us for DVD 1, DVD 2, DVD 3, etc. until the process was completed. Well, here we select what we decompressed earlier. In English in the US. US English. We go to source and select the insta.win. An important clarification, if the file you have is install.esda, we need to convert it to insta.win that you have. You know how to use the ISMAS tool, which offers this process to convert without any problem. We would simply need to open image file. We look for our image in question that we have, assuming it was .sd. And here we would click on export. We would select the version we want. We would click on export and it would be in .win format. I don't do it because, well, obviously it's already in .win format. But if it were SD, that would be the procedure to convert. So from Ventilate itself, it also gives the option. Now I'll show you. We open our image. And here it tells us that this ISO has 3 images. LTSC, IEO, LTSC, IEO, LTSC with subscription. If it were an install ESD image, we simply click on one. Or here where it says install.win. Export all. And to the format we want. It will take a while, but it does the same thing. In this case, we're going to do it with, well, this one. iOS Enterprise LTSC. We double click and the image will start mounting.
There, you just have to wait. Welcome to Rafael, here to What is the Mate. Alright guys, right now it's just an appetizer, okay? Because right now, in fact, the guys who went up yesterday, Juan, who is one of them, who else is raising their hand here, guys? I think not just him. It's Juan who came, who was excited, the one who asked yesterday for us to continue. Here is Fundal, and those who wanted or wished for us to do it today are not here. What happened to those owls? So much wickedness, brother. I feel cheated. Yes, I feel cheated. Herma bueno. Anyway, guys, what's going on? Right now in the meet, I'm going to repeat the video we watched yesterday with the tool from the guest we had and the second guest. Why? Because that's what it's about, this feedback. Attention, what I'm going to show obviously will be through Meet Park. And for those who are just arriving as newcomers, I'm going to introduce it to you as well. Alright? But still, so far it looks interesting. Yes, I know, Rafael, this is just like the warm-up to get started. Alright? Attention, what I'm going to show you in the Meet, I'm not going to show it in what is coming. YouTube. There, I'm going to put my screen in full screen, my camera. You might be able to hear the background audio, but you won't be able to see the procedure. So, my brother, that's the essence of interactive streaming. Not only can you interact directly via chat, but you can also be with us. How do you join Geek, the OWL community? Meet by being in the WhatsApp group or in the Discord group. If you're already in the groups, automatically I've left a link there so you can join. This time I'm not going to put it in the YouTube chat. You have to join one of the groups no matter what. Agreed? So, pay close attention. The tools we have, those who participate, those who have questions, those who provide feedback on everything we do, will receive all the ISOs we build. And yes, the people who are most participative will receive. Obviously also the tools we use. This is mainly out for your benefit. Even I, during the last interactive live session we had on Saturday, unintentionally, it was mainly to greet each other again. I also revealed a tool that was shared with me, to be able to integrate the NVMe drivers and storage units that work through the Scritin tool and protocol, right? Through PowerShell or through the terminal, okay? To put it directly in your boot. Yes, your block if you install the .boot. Also to put it within what is your WinRAR. And it can detect any type of universal storage from the past, right? Old past, up to today. Agreed? So, there Jesus magnified it. Perfect, Jesus. There the process ended. Perfect.
As I mentioned earlier, these packages that we are going to install are simply a package. So it's like a simple update. So here, in this case, we go to updates it in Interlife. folder that contains packages. And we go to our folder, languages. And we have to select the language package corresponding to our build. For example, this first one is from 26100.1. It was the first 24G2 that came out. With this one, well, many know it, but it's already an insider version. This 19.0 1288 EPAS 19,000.04412.88 is the language package for Windows 10. Enterprise LTCC 21H2. And this is the latest LTCC that has been released. We select the folder corresponding to our build. And indeed, it shows us the packages. Let's add a little more. There it is. This is everything that will be installed. We click on, we're also going to, integrate the drivers. I'll see if I have them here to take advantage of it right away. I don't have the driver package. But still, if we had drivers, we would click on drivers, add file that contains drivers, and we would select our folder. Well, anyway, we're going to apply. We click on process. We need to deactivate the Defender activate. Because if not, it won't let us continue. It will give us a false positive. Now we no longer need to be activated. It's deactivated.
Jesus, let me interrupt you for a moment. There is a question from our good friend Juan. Tell me, Juan, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to check your account now. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are all having a fantastic and wonderful day today. I've noticed when I'm using the fan, in the part of billing the antivirus, besides giving false positives, the protector works excellently. It is
true.
It takes forever to do the compilations to make the whole structure of what the usage will be, and it's a mess. In fact, halfway or starting the process, you can still reverse it. But if it's already more than halfway through the process, it has already become slow. I already made an ISO. It takes me about 40 minutes on the machine I have, more or less, because there are 7 different options. When I had the antivirus, it took hours, almost 2 hours and 15 minutes. So it's very important that when doing this type of procedure, remember to keep the antivirus deactivated. Just that detail.
Yes, my friend, indeed. Look, we use Ultralight here because it's a tool with a very short learning curve. It's quite simple, but personally, thank you. It made me modify my work. I have created my own tool. The speed to finish is much higher, very superior. Here I have a project that I am developing. Well, I already have all this developed with Terminal. It streamlines all the processes. I don't use NT-Live at all. Here were the drivers. Well, I had them here. Well, now I will show something of the tool that I am still developing. I have it in beta phase. But yes, indeed, working with the terminal is much faster. Even if you use this MASMAS, which should be a bit faster, but the process is equally time consuming. If you're going to save an image or convert something, always, the fastest option will be through the terminal.
Very well, guys. Excellent. Also, thanks to the feedback given by our good friend Juan. Yes, thank you very much. Remember, guys, to share the streaming. Remember that everything from the flirty part of yesterday, well, you'll have the opportunity to relive it. And they're asking me where the link is, guys. If you're not, excuse me, I'm going to stop answering. In private, via WhatsApp, via Discord, but Go ahead, Raul. Tell me. Speak.
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me?
We can all hear you loud and clear.
Tell me, Raul, how are you all? Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, how are you, Alberto? How's it going? I have a question. Look, I've seen that the console topic is often discussed, but my question is about that part. Is it about the command prompt console, to be more exact, or is it about PowerShell, the graphical action? I mean, where you digitize the code? Because I've seen, as you well know, that there is software that already allows you to simply, it comes with all the packages already compressed, or simply to do WQI, execute and interact with the ISO. And there are some, like in my case, who don't know much about screeching, but I more or less understand at least the introduction and how it's done. It's a bit complicated suddenly to use that type of tools, as you rightly say. And as Juan rightly said, it's simpler via console and much faster, the compilation, than doing it through, in this case, a tool that is also very powerful in Lite. But there are also pros and cons. Like every tool, like every device, like everything, it has to be used.
Well, look, let me tell you. If you use the command prompt, you won't be able to use a graphical interface. With the native command prompt tools, you won't be able to. You can create a menu, but everything will be text-based. If you use PowerShell, in PowerShell, you can already integrate a graphical interface natively. But the code will change slightly a bit because you have to call a certain library and change a certain method or use a certain function to do the same thing. In PowerShell, in CMD, with a simple command, everything doesn't change. Excellent. Come on, Raul, go ahead.
Yes. What's it called? Well, also remembering that in PowerShell, there are two versions. The version like or similar to the command prompt, and the PowerShell version, which is and that is, if I'm not mistaken, not with...
To finalize PowerShell rhythm, the symbol exists. The normal PowerShell, of course. Here I have it. I'll show you the violence. PowerShell. This PowerShell is like the command prompt. You are correct. With this, we can execute .ps1 files or write a command directly. PowerShell ISE is the other one. It's like an editor, an IDE. It doesn't appear here. Let's see. It's not on this device. Let's show it. PowerShell ISE is like an IDE where you write code and test it. Images.
Here, well, I must understand that from what you say, it's like a Visual Studio, more or less, to give a resemblance. Yes, something very basic.
Here, look, you can write code and you can execute that code immediately, modify it, change it. It's like an editor, a leader. A very basic leader, but for testing your code, here, this code that you write, you save it in a text file with the .ps1 extension. And then you can execute it directly in the other PowerShell. You simply route it and execute it. This is more. You use this more if you are testing or going to develop a code. Or if you have a code and want to analyze how it works, test it, fragment by fragment. Excellent, guys, that's the essence. You saw it? Welcome, bad boy. And we are live. We are not there with something pre-recorded. It's not what they were saying, it's something live. That we are in real time, yes. And, well, it's very good. It seems a lot like Windows 7 and Linux. Well, in the shell part, the terminal is always something fantastic and very nice. Guys, if you want to interact with us, remember that we are on MIT via WhatsApp. You can find the link or Discord so you can join us and interact. This is a little appetizer. Go ahead, Juan, tell me.
I understand it this way. In PowerShell and in PowerShell, one would be for viewing and the other would be for editing. Well, according to what I understand, one is to see how it was already finished, and the other is how it is programmed and compiled. That's my idea.
Let me tell you. Let's start with something basic like CMD, for example. In CMD, I'm going to show you while also showing some of the code. Well, this code, for example. This code, if I want to do it, if I want to program this, I have to do it in a notepad or another and save it with a .back or .cmd extension. I have to keep saving and with .cmd executing that file or executing it directly. Right-click, execute, run as administrator, or simply open. I have to keep executing it. On the other hand, in PowerShell, I did. I can do this, but of course with PowerShell code without having to keep saving on the fly. I modify a variable, hit execute, and it works immediately. If this doesn't work, I change something else. It's like any programming IDE. Anyone with some programming knowledge knows that we are not constantly saving the code. We write the code and execute it to see how the program compiles. That's what PowerShell ISE allows. Write the code, compile it on the spot without saving, and make the necessary changes. We have the code, and at the same time, we are executing it. And then when we say, if I like this code is like this, we can save it with the PS1 extension.
It has an extension for advertising files.
There's a question from our good friend Juan.
So, well, I just have the questions.
You're being heard very low, you're being heard very quietly, and you muted yourself. Juan?
Well, Victor already knows, as you know, I'm from the traditional old school, and for me, all this about Gel and the new languages, you see, is quite different. I learned basic, code, all those languages that are now the historical. And for me, this is why I made the distinction earlier that one compiles and the other just goes, let me see the results, to make it more understandable for me. So the IP, with what I've already heard, what is a compiler, but at the same time it executes the programming without saving an executable file. Let's say a PS1, as they call it. I think I'm going in the right direction. Exactly. And the normal PowerShell already shows you the finished product.
So to speak. Exactly. The normal PowerShell is useful for running a PowerShell command. Let's say it's an update, an improvement over the regular CMD we've always used. But of course, it already includes those commands that are sometimes the same as CMD or can be different. And here we have, let's try a command. We open our PowerShell and open a new window. The same command, exactly the same, but I can do it. If I had power here, if I did, although I can do it with Notepad, I can write a code that says when I run that .ps1 file, it opens the file explorer for me. This command, explorer-des, is shared by CMD. It's native to the system, so I can also do it here without any problem. The advantage of PowerShell is that it gives you more freedom to do certain things. It brings new functions. It's called CMDLEX.
The same command. In fact, well, I hope I'm not wrong, that Microsoft wanted to replace the classic MS2 with PowerSense, which has the same interface, let's say, the same appearance, except there are new commands.
Exactly, they are working on that, but they still have to. Since CMD has been around forever, since Windows 6.2, the normal MS2 CE has always been very integrated into the system. but they have tried to remove it. Let's say there is already a terminal application in the store, but in the future, it's likely they will end up removing it, and it will be replaced by PowerShell. But for now, not yet. There are many commands, they are migrating, but you already have a lot to change.
Well, we do the same 7 that you can see. It's in a case that it was about to have a graphical interface. MSI Gold 7. But it never came out. And right now, at this moment...
Well, here we are going to add the drivers that I already found the location for. The drivers for the SSD disks. We go to the desktop where we have them. Well, in my tool. Select folders for the drivers. These drivers do not work only for 64-bit versions, but also for 32-bit versions. Do not add them because it will tell you that they are not drivers for 64-bit only. We apply, process, and the same process will start. The language pack for this version, and in addition, the drivers. For now, we have integrated Spanish into the LTSC version. And now the iOS LTSC version is being integrated, but the iOS LTSC with subscription does not have the Spanish language integrated. So if I leave this ISO as it is, we will leave it just like that. When I try to install the iOS with subscription, it will not detect the Spanish language. But if I select one of the others to install, it will show Spanish and English. It's also important to mention that an ISO, as we add things to it, will increase in size. So with a rough estimate, let's say this ISO with just the Spanish language integrated into 2 ISOs. In the process of mounting, integration, driver integration, unmounting, it will be about 500 megabytes. The size will increase by about 500 or 600 megabytes. It's crazy, right? How much have we struggled with that? When they keep getting bigger and bigger, the ISOs are bad, right? Jesus?
Yeah, it's a problem.
So that's why, for that reason, don't come with the crazy idea of saying, oh, I got an ISO, I'm going to integrate all the languages of the world, because the ISO will inflate too much. Besides, it will also take up space when installing. If the ISO is heavy, that additional space it occupies will also remain in the system when installing, even if you don't use that other language. Any questions? One, you're very participative, brother. You're all in. How wonderful.
Well, it's just that I'm going to say this, Victor. With Interlife, using and making use of it, I actually have little time. I've been at it for about a year and a half. But I've noticed that, for example, with drivers and languages, but to clear up my doubt, they take me out of life. There are devices that when you bring them, because I do this, my friend, I do things very personalized. A device comes in, I bring the drivers, include them in the ISO, and deliver the ISO to the client that you provided. For what purpose? So that they don't struggle at the moment and find it more practical. 1, 2, 3, and deliver the driver, and that's it. But I've realized that when, by mistake, on one occasion, I mount the image on a T-Lite and add it. A driver, it already has a driver from another device. So it inflates, as you say, and it's a mess. Well, not a disaster. It becomes a cocktail to leave the testicle. But the result of the ISO is extra deep. I have made ISOs that are normally 1.8 gigabytes, reaching 10, 12, 14 gigabytes for a single device. So I use it in a madness.
Friends, there's a detail to keep in mind about that, which they don't tell you, and it's that you can customize. An ISO is true, but an ISO, with the tools you use, any tool, will never, at the moment, you decompress it, mount it, and when integrating those changes, it will never be as optimized as one created by Microsoft itself, because they have their own tools. So, for example, if I only mount this ISO and integrate a very small thing, something that doesn't take up much space, when saving that file, the size will be a bit different. The difference will always be noticeable because these are tools that, no matter what, don't have Microsoft's compression system, the ultra compression. This is more evident, let's say, in the updates. You have a normal ISO, and let's say in a new use, I want to integrate it. And let's suppose you did. It weighs 4 gigs closed. You integrate a 500 megabyte use, the ISO inflates to 4.7 gigs. With the Boolean, let's suppose this Boolean.
A quick note, Jesus. Support team, welcome, brother. We are in interactivity. If you can see here, I already made a small section in the streaming for the guys. These little friends you see here in the image are the friends interacting with us live on Meet. In case you want to join the call directly, ask me questions, clear up doubts, or share any project you have regarding Windows customization and optimization, I'd be happy to listen to you and also have you share it with the community. How do you find this link directly from Meet? You can find it directly in the WhatsApp group and in the Discord group. Agreed? And well, Socrates, brother, welcome. We have another of the OE admins here, my super philosopher. Brother, good afternoon. Our good friend Socrates here tells us that in practice, what is recommended is the integration of network storage drivers. The rest, well, the baguette, ISO, can get corrupted, right? And now go ahead. Jesus, sorry.
Network storage and hard drives, because many times they don't detect that it's also important. The rest is not relevant. Well, let's imagine we have this ISO. There are two options. You have the ISO, the version before this one, 1930-3915. The previous one, I don't know which one that is, but let's imagine you have it. And well, at 4 gigabytes the salt. You integrate the UDI so that this version migrates to your ISO. Your ISO will weigh, for example, 4.7 GB. But if you download that build from Microsoft servers, the size will be much smaller than the same ISO that you have with that version, but with your integrated UDI. That's something we also need to keep in mind. That's why many times it gets inflated. Let's say we have an old ISO, and every time a new update comes out, we integrate it. Update. Even if we clean it up, even if we do everything, it will never be like an original from Microsoft with its new update integrated.
Sorry, Juan. Go ahead, brother.
Participative. They won't go down, but well, they are undoubtedly released. At the moment, I have a question. Yes, of course, we download from the MP. Lite, well, the version I particularly use is the Home, a little more. The Pro.
The version.
Paid. I have the Home, thank you. I download the updates from IntelliView, okay? So I don't have to search. In fact, in particular, I get very confused when and I'm very honest. I go up to the Windows catalog and see the files and I say, and now which one is it? Which one? I don't see a difference. I know it's x64, AMD, etc. How good is it to store them in place and into live? What I do in particular, I download the updates from IntelliView, finish, go to the folder and delete the files. It downloads. So I don't know if it's good or bad.
Look, about this, I'm going to tell you something. The program, integrate ISO with the program. I know the paid version, we have it too, but we've had issues that in TLAI, when you search for updates for an ISO, it doesn't find all the updates. It detects some, but not all. And if you integrate updates that are incomplete because they need others, in the future they can cause errors. I advise you that if you want an updated ISO, well, there are pages like Yugdun. Do you know which one it is? The archive. This, where you build the ISO, is more recommended. If you want to update an ISO, it's more advisable to do it through these pages than with Entity Lite. There, although it will take a long time, it will create an updated ISO with all the updates you need to integrate. Because here some are skipped. Yes, well, at home, at home and the cements, I see myself more or uglier than my boyfriend. I see him more comfortable with my venti light.
And did this end the process?
It's something that I've gotten used to, but it would be good. And Victor considers that he makes a small video or a little point how to effectively, efficiently, and safely use the UPE to advance updates and perform this type of maneuvers.
Yes, well, for now, maybe not, but we can discuss it and maybe have a the meeting for members or YouTube. We have to look at the policies because we know that YouTube is very sensitive about everything now.
I think that, look, very good things are coming. Jesus, or what our good friend Juan is asking for. In fact, we are going to dedicate it within the members section because we are going to restructure, guys. The part about how things are being done, mainly for you, to bring you a little bit of material, as you rightly say, Doctor. Jesus, it's a bit sensitive, but it's going to be interesting. One, a huge favor, if you can, I don't know, adjust your microphone. Yesterday you sounded fabulous, and today you sound super muffled as if you were on the other side of the world, brother.
Okay. Here, our has already joined. The language packs were integrated into the first and second versions. The third one doesn't have a Spanish language option. It only has its language in English. We are going to integrate the drivers. The process would be exactly the same. We have to select each one of these. We mount it. The process is exactly the same as this. We mount it, integrate the packages, and apply it, and it holds everything. But, as the friend said, we are going to do the demonstration, well, with the terminal.
Sorry. What's happening? Sorry, I didn't know if I was heard. Better? Now I heard better. Much better. That's it. Very good. Georgie, the good friend, has also just landed. Georgie, how's it going? My super dark owl, my super dark. How are you, Georgie? How's everyone? Good afternoon. For some, I think you're in Spain. Good evening. And I hope you are all well. Well, they're arriving a bit late, but that's not true. Well, I'm going to show a little of what I'm thinking today. Well, I'm going to show a little of the tool to show you, and that's free for me too. I think they're a bit busy right now, also in Ally, but you never know, writing in the chat. The storage of updates downloaded in NetLite should not be deleted, as it is kept as a cache for later use in other projects, including our good friend Support IT Networks Security IT tells us, to integrate drivers, you have to be very careful because it can cause errors when installing the image.
ISO. Okay, in this case, thanks for the feedback, guys, and now let's go. Well, here I'm going to show how to install the drivers with the tool I'm developing, but for now, it's in beta phase. But even though the box Win doesn't weigh the 4 gigabytes, it's a faster process. It's going to be a faster process than doing it with the Gentilite method. The first thing would be to select our path. We run the file as an administrator, and here we are going to touch system files. Here, well, first, there it starts to mount our file. You can see that it's faster than with a graphical interface tool. Well, it's mounted now. Add drivers. It will select them one by one. And the operation is completed. And now amount saving. There are also certain problems with NTI lately. I don't know, but several colleagues and I have been having our work damaged lately. Some files get damaged simply by creating or opening them with the program. During installation, it gives you a blue screen. Well, let's hope not here. Otherwise, we'll do everything with the terminal. If something happens, so let's give it a good press and hope everything goes very well as requested. Mouth, welcome. X-Dragon, welcome. Guys, remember we have a special interactive streaming on Saturday. Yes, super nice. The truth is, I can see they are already integrating C++. Perfect, thank you very much. Remember that we have, after this little interlude, this small appetizer, to give a brief review, one of the tools you use the most for customization and personalization of Windows Internet Lite. From there, we will obviously bring in the virtual guests through the power of AI. From what you have already seen, including Juan and other members of the channel, from the methodology we saw yesterday, a tool widely used in the field by many others, not so much, but certain functions were revealed that were not used in some way or that we did not understand. Thanks to that, we will now be able to see again for a second opportunity and then start with our own customization. Remember that today we are going to create the ISO of your dreams, the ISO you have always wanted to have to install on your computer, personal, or even for your work or your company. Okay, attention. Obviously, with all the methodologies that are even working with libraries from Microsoft itself, we are not there obviously using software fake that compromises you, and above all, the security and integrity of your data. Okay? Anything you want to ask me, anything you also want to ask the experts, the UE admin, the UE tester, to the community itself, that also right now. Juan, for example, is providing feedback, sensational. Okay? Sensational, guys, you can always find the link when you are in the WhatsApp group or in the Discord group. You will be able to join the interactive call here with us. Agreed? Very well. Go ahead, Jesus. Ready, since the process is finishing and it hasn't even taken us 2 minutes, right? To complete the process with the drivers via terminal. It hasn't taken any time at all. And it also hasn't asked us to disable Defender or anything. That's also the difference when doing things with the terminal. We can have our antivirus activated and we don't have to disable it. It doesn't affect us at all. Why? Because they are tools and native codes from Microsoft itself. Now, I'll show you a part of the code. Right now, as you say, my dear Super, if you want to prepare it for a gaming PC, in fact, we are going to prepare it the same way. I tell you everything you want to do nowadays, guys. That's why I told you. Eat well, bring yourself a little coffee, a good smoothie, a yogurt, because here it's going to steal from us. Now it's really going to steal from us and hide the little line. Yes, because the truth is, yes, guys, we're going to take quite a while here. Sorry, go ahead, Jesus. Ready, a simple code to dismantle. It has nothing, the famous codes that we can find. Let's say if we go to Microsoft with the ISIS tool. Everything in the test documentation, just so as not to learn so much code. I've done it on my own. For me, it is myself, but here to mount more and more. We have the similar code, what we have in mind, the same. And in this case, languages were added. Let's go to if we go to the source folder, from here we can see a folder called it's Spanish from Spain. That's the language we have integrated. Before finishing, we delete files that always create entities and advertisements and things like that. And if we want, over here I have a moment. Before compiling, we can add an unattended file. Let's see if it's this one, so that. Let's look at an unattended file to skip TPM, to skip Microsoft accounts, all that. An unattended file that has nothing out of this world, just the commands to skip, nothing more.
Well, let's add it. We copy it. We go to our folder. And paste it outside. And that's it. There's our unattended file. Let's create the ISO. And there it starts to grow. No problems. Excellent, guys. Let's also read a little bit of what they say here. And gladly, Juan, we will create the PowerShell course. I think it would be quite a good update. We had one from our good friend as well, or WeAdmin, friend Francisco Venegas. But well, I think there are new libraries, new understandings, new indexations. It would be good to update the course. I think so. I dedicate myself, I think, to preparing it for the next month. And I think so. The good friend Raul tells the good friend Sokra. I'm not sure. But I think the programs that want to be integrated are not all compatible or easy to integrate. That's right, the good friend support replies to Raul. That is why, based on my experience, I have not recommended integrating ISO images into remote access programs. Well, there's a good debate, guys. There's a good debate. Perfect. Now, Jesus, go ahead. We are creating a virtual machine to test our file. Here's a detail. If you are going to install it on a virtual machine, it's more advisable not to connect it to the internet. Simply because sometimes when it's connected, it will ask for the Microsoft account and start downloading updates, things we can do later in case of having a poor connection. But if you have internet that works at top speed, there's no problem, you can activate it. We select our ISO. This is the one we created. Next, finish, and let's see how much the size increased. This is the original image to this one. 4.79. Let's see this one, how much? 5 GB. Simply by integrating a language and a driver. We disable the checkpoints. Then we stay. We go here. We don't have TPM, we don't have anything. And we go. Activate our ISO. We return to ensure that NT Lite hasn't corrupted anything. First, here, we already have. In fact, I'm going to show you before this. I'm going to show you the original image, so you don't say no, it didn't do anything. The ISO already came with that system. We're going to turn it off and show the original ISO that we had. This is the one we created. And in user, it's this one. The original one. Very well. All good, guys, all good. Guys, here our good friend Juan Cerro asks a question. He had a hard drive in 2016, and in 2024 it stopped working, and the hard drive doesn't respond at all. Brother, what brand, what model? Is it mechanical? Is it a CD? Come on, give us more background so we can provide you with a more precise and concrete solution. So, well, a solution for that drive can still be provided. As we can see in the original ISO, English only. English. 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 Well, this machine does meet the TPM requirements, but if it didn't, it would tell us. Sorry, this machine does not meet the requirements. Minimum we can't, well, we're going to pay and continue with the Spanish one.
We have our Spanish from Spain. Next. Spain. Spanish and are 3 versions. If I select these 2, it won't give me a problem because I previously integrated the language. But if I select this one, which only has English, sometimes it may accept it. Other times it may cause an error. Let's try. No, better. Let's reject the process. Let's integrate it into this one, which is reliable. We accept everything in Spanish. And the process begins. Another point to consider here lately with the integration of languages is that Microsoft is becoming a bit more restrictive, so to speak. In previous versions, up to 20CKS 100.1, the language was integrated and worked in a native manner, 100% everything. Now, with this, it can integrate certain parts in Spanglish, but they can be resolved simply by reinstalling the language through settings. Well, now I will show you when the process is finished. This is already in Spanish, 100% native. We only take it halfway. Now we can directly listen to the contextual menus, the entire interaction in Spanish, right? Exactly. In the settings, with this update, they made some tweaks, and for some it remains like a Spanglish, but it can be resolved simply by downloading the language again, and that's it. That issue is then corrected. But in the previous versions, no problem. In the Windows 10 and Windows 11 versions up to 26.100.1, which was the insider. And listen, take note, guys, take note. With this, we are practically finishing the explanation, right? Jesus? Yes. About the integration of the drivers. Yes. About the drivers and the application of the unattended files. Installation of the languages. The installation of languages is the same for any version of Windows. You just need to know what the VUI of your ISO is and get the language files and integrate them this way. The drivers are the same. Well, it doesn't matter. Windows 10, Windows 11, it doesn't matter. And the unattended files are the same. You place them in that path with your configurations, and that's it. What has been understood, many people, the unattended is often for, let's say we want to add a file or make a configuration, but we don't want to be mounting and unmounting the ISO. So that file does that for us. We don't have to be mounting the file insta.win, nor modifying it. But we simply decompress the ISO, put the file in the folder, and recreate it. Or a USB. We format a USB and place our unattended file on this USB, and that's it. I will apply those changes. Like removing applications, creating users, skipping accounts, Microsoft, skipping TPM. We can do many things with unattended files.
Well, there it is, guys. You also have Jesus Live, guys. You have a super expert, Leticia Rusas, better known here in the OWL community, who can give you a lot of feedback, a lot of insights on the construction and consolidation of ISOs. And well, we just saw additional tools. Remember that we are going to watch the video that we had yesterday with the special guest. Now, thanks to the power of AI, if you don't understand why, and to get into context, I invite you to join the meet directly, because we are going to see a tool, an explanation of about 30 to 36 minutes where they will teach us how to use it through the terminal, and not just the part of that. Note you, it's not just about integration, not just about driver installation. No, we said, hey Victor, but where does the optimization come in? Well, for that we are going to give you a range of other tools where you will be able to remove bloatware, where you can help the system not to have so much cache in certain applications that hinder its performance in the background, among other things, okay? So hold on, here comes the good part. Remember, we are going to see all of this in a super live stream. We are already broadcasting. We've been on for an hour and 22 minutes. We don't know when the stream will end, okay? What I do know in terms of myself, if I see that obviously people here are losing interest, people are no longer interacting on YouTube, I will end the live stream on YouTube, but I will continue with the friends who are directly here in the meet, where Even the tools used for the more interactive people, via chat, via microphone, will obviously be given a special toolkit that is only being given to my Platinum members. Everything we use as materials, protocols and so on will be given a good bonus. And an extra, really. To the most participative person, who right now Juanchero is winning, haha, I think he will take that nice gift today. And well, so you can see how our live streams have evolved. Also, if right now something is very off topic, like gosh, I want to ask something technical very unrelated to Windows customization or personalization, don't worry, join the meet, and within my knowledge and ability, I will gladly answer your question, and if not, we have these great owls here, okay? So they can solve any issues you have. Guys, when have we ever seen something like this? I think that, well, in the Spanish-speaking world, I hadn't seen anything similar where we can approach, thanks to you, and you can ask about your discomforts, your issues, your doubts, your problems, okay? And be able to solve them in real time. Well, we are obviously here in the interactive streaming of the WUO. Okay? Thanks for sharing. Remember to give a thumbs up. Tell a friend if they have a problem with their PC, like our good friend Juanchero says the hard drive is an HDD, a TBWD. Well, my brother, there we do have an issue. We have a detail. In fact, something similar happened to us with Georgie's case with your hard drive a while ago. Do you remember, Georgie?
Yeah, that's right.
How did you solve it, or what would you tell the friend to see if in this case it could still be salvaged?
Let's see, it would be first, well, we could use Crystal Disk to see how bad the failure is, to see what can be salvaged, if it can be salvaged, whether it's the main drive, where you have your operating system and the rest. Try to look for example, an ISO that we have here for technicians via USB, which is from Jesus himself here present, who also has videos here on the Wikram channel. See what can be salvaged, especially if you have any cloud service, to upload what you can, and from there try to format it. If the disk is not completely damaged, try it on another machine if you have a friend or someone nearby. Make sure it's not the cables, which could also be the issue, just a heads up. Many times it could be that the cable is already old, it breaks, gives you those errors, and one thinks the disk is dead, it's better to try another way. So, you know mainly what I can recommend to you. Try to save your things. Crystal disk. Check how the disk is. Cable. Change the cable. See if that's the issue. And if not, then we can say that the disk is better off. The workhorse has expired.
There, I showed you the video of where you can get it if you're interested in the Windows Pi for technicians. Unlike other systems that do the same, this Windows Pi is quite lightweight. And you yourselves, you are the owners of your tools. It doesn't come with pre-installed tools. The system is a Windows that comes completely clean, and you can integrate the tools you want. Additionally, it comes with a package of tools preset by me, the most common ones, Crystal Disk, for data recovery, system access, formatting, all of that. But you can personalize that ISO and integrate new programs.
Simply portable programs, since I know, don't disregard what this Windows for Technicians is. It's really good. It's for the entire community only. You know, the request on Google Drive. In the drive of the buses, gladly granting access so you can have more tools. The installation is finished, guys. Hey Jesus, on what hardware is all this construction being done? All this construction? One moment. Well, let's continue here and I'll show you. And here we can see small details, although it's in Spanish. Certain things are kept in English natively. But later on we'll see that, well, it doesn't affect much. It's Microsoft, they don't want us to modify too many things. We're going to show the hardware we have. The equipment. We have this equipment, but on the machine we're running it on, the virtual machine, it's a machine with 2 cores and 16 gigabyte. And now I'll show you, now I've finished. The process. The friends are saying here internally, yes guys, no problem, you can express it here even at MIT, that's why it's interactive. Hey Victor, maybe I'm afraid to express myself in the chat or on the microphone. Don't worry, it's okay. It's fine. We need to be fair. I mean, it's okay. If you don't want to participate that way, there's another way to get the tools through a donation. Yes, you can do it. Yes. The donation would be about $10 for the toolkit that we are going to unveil today. $10. $10, it doesn't cost you more. It can even be through different donation methods, not just PayPal, which is the most conventional, but also through crypto via the Binance platform. I'm not sponsored, guys, just to be clear, but your donations can also be through crypto, okay? To find out how you can make the transfer, if you want to donate for the material we provide today, go ahead. You can directly join the meet, as I will share the referral link. And, of course, so you can have everything we are going to build. All right? Were you going to tell me something, Jesus? Sorry.
No, nothing.
All good. Perfect. Let's go. Okay. We have 1. Here. A request from our good friend Georgie. Go ahead, friend.
No, it's just something regarding what they're writing in the meet chat. If you have any doubts, any questions, don't have a microphone, feel shy, write it down. Raise your hand and I'll read it like that. Sometimes Victor isn't paying attention or Jesus is doing other things directly, I'll tell them. And there you can also reveal your doubts. That's all what I wanted to say. Here's a good model. From there, the good friend Georgie. Excellent brother. The ISO is starting there and we are seeing that it is running without any issues. Right? And yes, because then you have to be here. We already see since a start. But if we start, everything is in Spanish. These are small details that didn't happen before, but are now occurring with the new builds. In this case, let's see.
What our build is. Indeed, as you know, 26100.1742, the same one that is and that is here in languages, and 26,100.1742 the language packs. For that specific Google, it's an important detail that we should always have the ISO, the specific Google, because if we download a higher or lower version, we know that Microsoft is constantly adding new things, new features, new changes. And there might be instability or errors when installing, or it might simply not work. Search, we have it. All in Spanish. All the applications.
The applications weren't translated, but here we can see at the bottom, system. Certain little things are kept in English. Those are small details from Microsoft. That can be fixed later. Let's see. What happened? Settings. The panel is also kept in English. But here we can go and reinstall another language, add another language in Spanish, and then the necessary effect. And it applies to everyone. To correct these small details that will have been happening lately. The problem with us, and I know you're going to say, but why would I integrate that package? if I can do that there and directly. But what happens is that if you do it this way, certain areas will remain in Spanglish. In other words, the best option is to download the ISO in the original language. If you need an ISO in Spanish from Spain, get it in Spanish from Spain made by Microsoft. If you need it in English, get it in English made by Microsoft. Because with these methods, it didn't fail before, but now there are these details. If you use this, certain things will remain in English. With this method, certain things will remain in English or in the other language it was in. These things with the integration I did of the language pack are now in Spanish, but certain things have remained in English. So it's like a complement. Then you add the language and you have to go here and also add the language so that what is missing from one is complemented by the other to make it 100% native. From build 26100, 1742 onwards with the previous ones like 26100 to integrate into the packages, and the integration is completely native, nothing remains in Spanglish. Excellent. Well guys, we're really pushing the LTC SIOT version.
Regarding the integration, they asked me if this would also happen in 10. No, in 10 it's already a bit more straightforward, because the methodology taught by our good friend Jesus here allows everything to integrate without issues. In 11, due to the massive updates and features, especially in versions like 24H2, we still have these kinds of issues, but they are solvable. In 10.22H2, or sorry, Windows 10 LTS by Josh, which has support until 2032, if you incorporate the Spanish language, it will provide everything completely with contextual menus and the entire ecosystem directly from the stock Windows UI. Don't worry.
Just like we can see here in this trivial matter of the control panel, which they are always modifying and changing, but in general, everything else important has been changed. It's like that little detail that applies to us. Everything else, we have in Spanish, options, everything in Spanish. It's that little detail, well, it's for those of us who, as we know, are always updating lately. Search. Everything normal. In Spanish, the names of the applications, everything in Spanish. Nothing is preserved. In another language, Windows Defender security, tools, everything. It's indeed good to see if any other colleague has any questions or something. Take advantage now.
Perfect. Our good friend Raul here says that tutorial for the IoT version is very good and excellent. Yes, it really is, guys. It was something, I tell you, a little appetizer, something that was being requested, I think it was yesterday, by our friend Fernando, who in fact is not here yet. Where did Fernando go? Darn. But well, it will remain for posterity if he joins the channel. But I didn't mention, right? This live stream on YouTube, after the streaming ends, however long it lasts, will go directly to Platinum members. Okay? And that's it. If you're watching it live right now, you have the opportunity to see everything we're doing, everything the community is asking here internally, and after that, the streaming becomes available only to community members.
Well, as I was saying, integrating languages is always better with the option of the ISO provided by Microsoft itself. Why? Well, we saw how to do it here, but if you go online and you get it from someone who modified it, we don't know who integrated it. That's why I always try to get the original ISOs that can be verified with the hash, not just because it says it's original from Microsoft and then we open it from that person. Each file has a hash, there are hash checking programs, verify the hash and the ISO hash. This is public domain. You can check, and if it matches, you can modify it. If it doesn't match, something has been done to it. Also integrating. Well, we already integrated the language because, well, this user requested it, but it's something that's no longer commonly done because Microsoft, all its versions already come in all languages. So there are 1 or 2 versions, a special case that comes only in English, and that's it. These are very specific cases.
Indeed, thank you, Jesus. Says the good friend support. It is always advisable to customize and optimize from unofficial images and ISOs. Guys, we are going to have a bonus in this super live session along with the good friend Socrates. You will see me struggle a bit because it will be a new methodology that I am not familiar with in the Ventoy part. So, we are going to recall a bit of the old school coffee break because it's a topic I don't master.
I don't know what it's going to teach me. So we are going to have fun, and maybe the laughs won't be missing.
Come on, Raul, tell me. Hello, Jesus. Look, is there any way or option, I don't know how to call it, to identify that this ISO is authentic, so to speak?
Yes, I'll show you now. Let's go here to minimize this. Simply with a Google search, it's something very basic. We type this checker. Even to finish, we can do it. But write it like this, the hash checker. There are many programs for that. Let's see. This one for uploading a file wouldn't take too long. To an open source verifier. Any program like that, we have to select the file, and well, here they show how to do it in PowerShell too. Well, there are several types of hash, 256 and 512. It's also important. Let's do it with one. A slightly more graphical option. Let's see what it offers us. It all looks sketchy. This hashtag, I think I've used it.
You can even use some commands in the terminal. Jesus. Yes, let's see.
Let's try to do it here, well, in a slightly more graphical way so it's not too complicated. Here we have one. There are a multitude of programs for this because they simply make them with Puebla and Cielo. It's not a big deal to make a program with Puebla and Cielo. It got installed here. Sorry, my keyboard is acting crazy. I could swear I installed it. Finish. Let's see if it appears now.
Let's say directly in your WhatsApp, or do you want me to share it? Well, I'll share it the same way and...
Directly. Well, I don't know which one it is. Paste it here for...
Please, we see with the graphical interface and let's go. Look, there it is. That's one. Then I'm going to show you. An open source, and there's the repository and Sun.
Dude, that was... And that same one. This was the one I tried now that didn't work for us. Maybe I got the version wrong. We can try again anyway. If indeed it was. Let's try with this one to see. Here we have, so first we are going to select, maybe we want to check These are different types, M5 being one, or well, but more recommended. This is already the 512. With this program in the file, that we select the file it was set up. Sometimes it takes a long time, sometimes it's quick. It all depends on the program.
Alright guys, something you have to keep very much in mind, super in mind. That can also be developed through a script. There is a script in fact that can teach you. I will give you the premise. Guys, those who are in the meet, there is a script directly in PowerShell and you adapt it directly. It's an adaptation, you do it in your, well, the PowerShell shell, the ISE, and then you can even make it automated. With that, you can also do it with different versions of Windows ISO without any issues. Well, folks,
here we have the hash. We are going to test with SHA-256, and it will generate a completely different code for us. The code it generates is our hash, and there we can simply check on the Microsoft page or any other source. What is the hash of the original ISO? And there we compare if the numbers match without modification. If they match, even if it's just one number, they did something. If it changes or is a number, they did something.
well, there it is, guys. Great part. How nice. What a great retro, Raul. I sent you the links directly here in the Meet chat in case you want to try the tools. The one from the open source repository, also directly the other one we already have on the page. I sent you the link. And the script, I think I'll send it to you in a notepad so you can adapt it to your needs. And I'll explain it to you offline right now. How that script would be worked on.
Vic, can you share the hash 256 code of this so they can compare how they get too used to extending these versions? And well, you know, there's a lot taken advantage of so that, well...
Too much. Too much. Well, that's it. Enjoy your meal, Juan. Yes, always, guys, come on. Go get the taco for the good guatana because this continues. Now then, what we are going to do, guys, you might... Well, no, not might. You won't see absolutely anything. You'll only see my face in full screen because we are going to play the video of what was our guest from yesterday. On how to optimize Windows with a super iconic tool that has been with us for a long time, but, well, we've noticed that other content creators haven't explained it. In fact, I have that tool. I have a video. I didn't remember just when I was checking. Yuki told me yesterday, hey, this about MSG and other add-ons. You explained it in a video. And I watched my video compared to what the colleague, the great friend of AI explained yesterday. Nothing to do with it. Now, there really are many things that I overlooked and that other content creators explaining this same tool didn't mention or don't mention, or, well, they aren't curious and aren't fully analyzing the tool. Well, right now, thanks to the agents we have like Operator within OpenAI or some other agent within what it is, artificial intelligence with just certain prompts and certain training can really teach you like a super teacher. Obviously with well-grounded material. A very good prior research, right? And that you also have some knowledge so that you see that the AI itself doesn't end up deluding you, right? Because then it does create some good stories. But anyway, let's check it out. Meanwhile, obviously, we'll have a snack. It's going to last about 30-36 minutes. If those here in the chat want to see the methodology, it's your opportunity. Please join directly here to What is the Meet. How do you join the Meet? They've been blowing up my WhatsApp private messages. You know, you have to belong to the WhatsApp group or the Discord group. There you find the direct link to the Meet, and gladly, there you go. Okay? Why are we going to review that again? Because from there, a challenge will come for the friends of the Meet if they want to take it for a nice gift that we are going to give them. And everything we are giving... Come on, Yori, prepare the coffee and the good cookies. Indeed, also our good friend, Raul. Pay close attention to what we are going to see from this content generator that is preparing for us. That tool to set up our Windows.
with a pro version to optimize it because it will be through the terminal. But just because it's through the terminal doesn't mean it's difficult. In fact, it's very simple if we follow the step-by-step instructions. There. I'm going to ask one of the members here in the community. Well, my friend, it could be Juan, Raul, whoever wants. I give access to a computer and we do what this person taught us to see that it is also something true. What we're going to start doing, guys, and something curious that we've set up for all of you, especially for Platinum members of the community, is that not everything we see on the internet, especially in the short content area, yes, TikTok is one of the strongest. There are many people selling smoke in the sense that a certain tool is said to be for a certain purpose or optimization, but well, what's the risk? What's behind that? Is it really worth it? And other people, who obviously deserve a lot of respect, create short format content on the TikTok platform, and it's actually truthful. But for the most part, they only tell you the sweet side of certain things, certain tools, when in the end there's a whole dark background and they never tell you that. Anyway, let's put this good knowledge into practice. I'm going to switch tabs. Previously, just a minute, so that we are all in perfect sync with what we're about to see now. Continuous. Okay? See? Everyone pay attention. Raise your hand. I can pause the video, guys, for all the little people, the 10 little people we have here in the meet. Alright? Like our friend Juan, Luis, Raul. Yes, the UI admins themselves, you already know. Support. It's going to be really good. It's going to be awesome. What you're going to understand, what you're going to learn or reaffirm if you already know it. And from there, we're going to create our ISOs. The idea is that each of us makes a supercomputer. A super ISO for the most universal part of the top-of-the-line computers that content creators always show us. Something humble. And you know what? The best ISO, the best built, the best thought out, we're going to install it on this computer. It's a computer that in fact I'll show you here with the external camera I prepared. We're going to do everything physically because we need to test it. Let's see if it works. I'm going to set up the repair camera here. Let's see if it works. Let's see. 1 minute. I think not. It didn't work because it didn't work, because it's not connected. There it is. Now it's connected. Let's see if it works. Let this refresh. Camera. The river. There it is. Now you can see it live. You can see it. It's a computer that, in fact, I even have it disassembled, dismantled. It comes with 4 GB of RAM and it's a Lenovo with an Intel processor, either Celeron or Intel Pentium. We'll check it properly in a moment, and well, we're going to install a storage unit. Let's see how it performs. Even the Windows we build will be the best built. It will receive a nice gift in a mechanical drive, and we will compare it against how it would perform with an SSD. Alright? And let's really see if this is going to work, and if the methodology we're going to show works. What am I getting at? If you like this type of content, guys, monthly we will have it with all of you. Start preparing the material. Alright? Get ready, because I think no one is doing it this way. Well, at least I haven't seen anything like this, similar on the internet, but what a wonder to try something. Thank you, to see how harmful it is for the team. Or how beneficial it is. Does it work? Is it productive? Does it help? Is it safe? You love more. Alright? Well, ready. I'm going to remove this from the camera. With that said, guys, I'm telling you, I'm going to leave the face on full screen. Except for the friends who are here in the meet. Ready? We're going to change the presentation here. Little gray hair. Little gray hair. Tab. Tab. Here we have it. We're going to share audio with them, audio with us. That's where we're going to mute the music a little bit. Sol, please mute the music. Thank you. And we have 30 minutes where you will be listening, being with me. If you're curious and have a curious mind, like everyone present here, then I'm going to invite you. Thank you. so you can watch this video in the meat. Alright? Remember that it's an addition that will go to where? For the platinum. Alright? It's going to go to the platinum. So, get ready. Okay? I'm going to copy this. I'm going to throw it over here to the, maybe to the smoke. Main. I'm going to paste it here. Yes? There it is. So you can see the good owls. Agreed? And now, yes. Let's get going, guys.
Here, a play. What do you have? Another video here for you on how to create a custom Windows 11 ISO. This also works for Windows 10, but we are working on Windows 11 here. So first, let's open dump. Now you can download this version of Windows directly from Microsoft. But I will use this to download my ISO. So choose how you want to download ISO. And how do you want to do it? This video, in particular, is going to be quite long. So be patient and watch the entire video without skipping parts. Otherwise, you'll miss some crucial steps here. So what we're going to do is choose your language for this ISO, in particular, that we want to use. And in this case, mine is going to be English. So I'm going to leave it as US English. I don't need Windows Home, but if you need it, you can leave Windows Home checked here. I'm only going to use Windows Pro, so I'm going to leave that checked here. So make sure to select the one for which you have a Windows license key. For now, we're going to download and convert to ISO. I'm going to leave these options checked here at the bottom. And I might even integrate the framework, network 3.5 here for our build. And that way we won't have to download and install this later. So I'm going to leave that option checked there. You can leave it unchecked if you want, but that's what I'm going to do here. Now, let's create our download package. Now we can navigate to our download section. And now we can extract all this information from its folder. So let's extract everything. And extract that into its own folder, here. And now, is to click on this batch file here where it says whoop_download. And we're going to run it. Anyway. And a small prompt window will appear here. And all you need to do here is type all. And this will start downloading our Windows package. And again, this will take a little time, so be patient. It will download this from the Microsoft website and then build our package for us. And this will give us the ISO we need. So I'll speed up this process and move on to the next step. And we can show you what we're going to need next. So the MSMG tool is something I'm going to use here. I'm going to extract everything, and we're going to extract that into a folder. Then I can drag this to my desktop. So let me quickly close that and drag the tools folder to my desktop, where I'm working. Again, you can use different methods to do this, but this is the method I am choosing. Choose 0 to close the command prompt once it has downloaded. And now we can mount the ISO of our UUP dump that we just created. And what we are going to do is take all the files inside that ISO that we just downloaded and drag them to the DVD folder of our tool. It's that simple. You can copy and paste them or drag them in whatever way suits you. And once this has been copied, we are ready to open our MSMG tool. So now it's copied. Now we can open it, but before doing that, let me eject the ISO. And what I've done here is now enter our tools folder. And you can see that our ISO has been copied into our DVD folder. And what we need to do now is click on the start button here. I'm going to right click and run this as administrator, and you'll see a small pop-up window appearing here. I'm going to say run anyway and say yes to continue. You'll see a blue pop-up window like this. Accept its terms and conditions by typing A, and now press any key on the keyboard to move on to the next step. So let's do it. Now you should see something like this. What we need to do here is select the source by typing 1, and we are going to select the source. From here, we are going to select our source from our DVD folder. So type 1 again, because that's where we just extracted all our files for our Windows build. So let's do it, and you can see that there is only one index here, and it's Windows. 11 Pro because I used updump. Now, though, if you used Microsoft, you will see a selection here and you can choose which one you want. I'm going to select one because it's the only one I have. It's going to ask us, do we want to? It's going to say, do you want to continue? I am going to say, and for yes. And then it's going to say, do you want to mount the Windows Setup boot image? I am going to say no here. I will put N for no and press enter. And it's going to say, do you want to mount the Windows recovery image? And we don't want to do that either. So we are going to say no here by typing N for no and pressing enter. Alright, now we are ready to start working with our image and begin removing parts we don't need. So let's go ahead. This is going to be mounted for us. Once it finishes mounting, it will return you to the main menu. From here, we can now start removing components. So we are going to type free here to enter the removal section and start removing key components. Next, we are going to type 1 here to remove Windows components. So we are going to press 1, and this will take us to the next window. And then we can have a couple more options that select Windows components. So I'm going to put 1 again and move to this section here. Now we have a long list. You'll see Internet. So let's go there, and you can see they have little stars next to them. So I'm not going to remove anything from here because this can cause problems. Sometimes people used to remove Internet Explorer, but I will leave these as they are and won't touch anything here. But there are little stars here and I think they prevent you from moving them. So let's go back to the main menu and look at multimedia. So let's press 2 here. And you can see there is a big and massive list of things. Now, what do you remove? Well, this is going to depend entirely on you. I am going to review and remove some of the things I don't want in the system. But again, everyone is going to have their own different requirements. That's why it's more difficult to release an ISO image for someone else. Because they might need those components and you've removed them. So it's always better to make your own ISO. Let me go ahead and take a look around here. And we can take a look at what we want to remove. So I can already see the screensaver and I can already see some other things that I don't need here. For example, like the Windows Media, Player Legacy, or the Windows Photo Viewer. If you don't need that, or any of the other things, you can remove them. So I'm going to type 4 for the screensaver and remove it. You'll see that now there will be a small dash instead of a plus sign. And that means we want to remove this from our build. Now, sometimes removing too much can break the operating system. So be very careful with what you remove. So I'm going to remove speech recognition here because I don't need it. And I'm also going to remove number 8, which are our wallpaper themes, because I'm not very interested in those either. So I'm going to remove those selections right there, and I'll probably remove a couple more items. Like the Windows Media Player Legacy, because we can always use another one from the internet. So let's go ahead and type that number right there, which is number 9, and then we can press Enter to remove it. There we go, and it goes without saying. If you need it, then don't remove it. So what I'm going to do here is remove the Windows TIFF. And we're going to remove the OCR there. You can see that right there, number 12. So I'm also going to remove that from our build. So let's go ahead and type that and press Enter. And now it's removed. All right, I think we're pretty good there now. So what we can do is go back and we can press the X key to go back. And this will take us back to the main menu, as you see here. Now, we would press number 2 to take it to multimedia. And again, you do the same thing. You're going to go through here and remove things you don't need. And everyone is going to need different things. So I'm going to remove Windows Mail because I don't need it. That's number 9, and we have the wallet service here that I don't need. So that's number 8. I'm going to remove that too. And Telnet is there. I don't need Telnet on the system, so I can press number 6 to remove that as well. So depending on what you want to remove, your system will determine which numbers you select, so be very careful with what you delete. But we definitely know that we don't need any of these things to run our system. And we can also see here this one, which is the TFTP client. And we can probably remove that too because we don't need it. Let's remove that number 7. And there we go. That's what I'm going to remove in my selection right here. And all you need to do is press X to go back once you're done. And now we can move on to the next one, which is the network. So press number 3. Now I can already see some things I can remove here. So number 2, Customer Experience Improvement Program. So I'm definitely going to remove that by typing number 2. And there are some other things here that we can also remove. So let's take a look. Number 6, Picture Password. We can remove that one too. And we also have some others here that we can remove. So just move the ones you want to remove. Number 9, Wi-Fi Network Adapter, Wi-Fi Sense. That can go. Number 10, and that's our Windows error report. We can remove that. The Windows Insider program, we don't need it by typing number 11. Let's get rid of that. And you can see they're starting to put small stripes against them, which means they will be removed. Number 6, that's your picture password. So let's remove that as well. I'm going to leave the pin sign-in support. You can also see the client here, Unified Telnet, which is number 8. There are some of them here that you can remove depending on which ones you want to delete. So number 5 is the location service. Let's remove that too. And we probably remove that facial recognition. Windows Hello Face will also remove this. And we have some others there if you wanted to remove them. So I'm going to leave that as is and press X to go back here. And again, we're going to move on to the next selection here, which is privacy. So let's go into number 4. And from here we can remove some other components. For example, I can see the OneDrive desktop client. I can also see remote registry. And I can also see some other things here. So depending on what you want to remove, I'm going to remove the remote assistant. And I'm also going to remove the OneDrive desktop client, also with that also given. And we can also remove number 2, which is the multi-point connector. So let's proceed and remove that. And maybe we can also remove number 7, which is the work folders client. We can remove that too. Let's proceed with number 7 and press enter. And now we can press X to go back and return to the main menu. And then we can move on to the next selection here. So now let's go for number 6. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go through. There are quite a few of these to review here. Now I'm not going to go through all of these one by one. What I'll do is start disabling these like narrator and also some others here. And we can remove a lot of this like the steps recorder. You can see here the storage sensor, file history transfer, easy. There are a lot of things here that you can start removing. So I'm not going to go through this. I'll start checking. I'll mark some and show you the final result of what I've removed here. Because we would be here all day, so I have a few more here. We can do number 23, and you can see these with all the little dashes against them. These are the ones we are going to remove. And there are quite a few of them like the on-screen keyboard. And we have some others here like Windows, Backup, Magnifier, and a bunch of others like file history and things like that. So you can go through here and choose what you want to remove. So pause the video and take a good look at the ones I've removed here, and you can note them down. So let's go ahead and move on to the next selection here. And we are going to go here. And there are quite a few here. There are around 40 or so. So again, I'm not going to go through these one by one. What I'll do is remove many of these and show you what I've removed because it's quite a lot. So you can see here are the ones with the little dashes. Those are the ones you need to remove. You can also slow down the video. Remember guys, in the settings, slow down the video and take a look at the ones I've removed. You can mark them and write them down on a piece of paper, and then you should be able to remove those. So those are the ones I went ahead to remove because there are quite a few here. More than 40 here, so I would be there for a long time. Removing those 28 could be removed. Also 29 could possibly be removed. There. If you wanted to remove those, there are some others here you might want to mark. But just check here. I've left Xbox here. I haven't touched anything related to Xbox in this particular build. So let's move on to the next one. And this one is also going to be quite large because there are quite a few. So you see there are like 70 something here. So we need to remove many of these. And again, I'm not going to go through all of these one by one. because we would be here for a long time. So I'm just going to go here and start removing them. And it's a bit annoying because you have to keep going up and down the actual list here because the list is so large. Maybe they should have put this on 2 separate pages so you can go to page 1, page 2, instead of having one big list, like 73 of them. So you can see here that there are quite a few to review, like your phone. You might want to have that there. I'm not touching Xbox Live or anything Xbox related. I'm going to leave that alone because a lot of people will need it. So there are other things here that you can remove. So just review here and read what they are and remove the ones you want, like the weather, which I don't need, and a bunch of other things here like the voice recorder. And that way you can see some of these that I'm doing. Number 59 here. We'll remove it from the system and do a bunch of others as well. So you can use your own common sense here to review and remove what you think you don't need, but be very careful with what you do. Removing, for example, Xbox can break any kind of operating system if you start removing it. I prefer to just leave that there because some people do need the Windows Store and want Xbox. But again, you can get these extreme versions where they remove all that. And again, you can end up with a lot of error messages popping up on the screen if you start removing too many things. So be a bit careful with what you remove from your particular ISO when you build it. I'm going to keep working around here and take a look at which ones we want to remove, like Solitaire. I really don't need that in the system. I can remove those, and we have 51 there that I just removed. So I could just keep moving forward. And basically, once you've selected everything you don't need, then you can go back to the main menu and move on to the next screen. So you can see here I'm scrolling up very slowly, and you should be able to see the ones I've removed, like Windows tips and things like that. Sticky notes that I've removed, snipping tool, and also Power Automate people, and many other things there, like movies and TV. You can use VLC for some of those things. And I just removed a lot of that. So let me go through here and you'll be able to see the entire list here. I'm scrolling slowly. Get help, feedback, family, and also Clipchamp. All of that is going to be removed from here. Alright, so we're reaching the end of our removal process in a second. So let's go ahead and press 32 here and just finish these last ones. I'm going to do this number 73 here as well and remove that, which is my phone. So I'm going to do that and we can return to the main menu once we've done all this. So that's already done. So what I'm going to do next is that we're probably going to go back now. I've left the Xbox. As I said, I'm going to press X to return to the main menu and see what else we can remove from our build. So let's proceed with the next selection. That's basically to go back, and now we can start deleting. So number 2, we'll start deleting these Windows components that we've already selected, and we've done quite a few. So now it's going to start removing all our choices that we've decided to delete from our build. So I'm going to start with that and let it do its work now. That might take a little time, so be patient. And once that's done, you'll also be able to create an ISO from here if you wish. So we'll let that continue and start removing some of these. I'll show you how it removes them, and then you can basically see what happens. You should see some things appearing on the screen like this, where it starts removing all our selections that we've made. Alright, what I'll do here is quickly go through this, and now it's done. And now we can press the X key to return to our menu. So let's do it, and now we have completed our removal. From our components, we can return again by typing X. And from here, now you can go to the next selection here, which is number 6, apply. So enter number 6. And now we can go to the apply section. And here we can see apply and save. Changes to our source image, and that's what we need to do. But we also need to clean the source image using our DSM cleanup first. So let's do it, and we've cleaned it first. Press enter on the keyboard to return. And now we can apply those changes by doing number 2, so number 1 and then number 2. So let's go to number 2 next, and this will apply and save changes to our source image. After having done all that, it will ask, do you want to clean the source image folder? I'm going to say Wi-Fi yes here and let it do its thing. And that will clean up all the things we no longer need. And it will start doing that and apply changes and unmount our installed .wim file, which is what we just edited. So now that we've done that, it takes a little time, so be patient and let it do its thing. And once you've done that, you're pretty much done. You can create your ISO file within this MSMG tool, if you wish. And if you want to make more adjustments, you can do that too. It depends on how far you want to take this. So what we're going to do is go into Lite and make a couple more small adjustments. And then we can rebuild our ISO. But again, you don't need to do that part. You can go to number 7 now and head to destination, select the ISO you want to build, and it will basically create an ISO for you. I'm going to skip that part and press X to exit, because we're going to open that folder within NT Lite. So let's proceed to download that. There it is right there. We haven't created the ISO yet, but if you did, your ISO would be in the ISO folder. But we're going to skip that part for now. And what we're going to do here is enter our DVD. And there's all the material still. So that's our image. So what we're going to do now is open NT Lite here. Go to the download section and download. The 64-bit version of this is free to use. There is a paid premium version that will allow you to do much more with this. So we're just using the free version here, and we're going to open this and accept its terms and conditions. And then what we're going to do is mount that image we just worked on here. So let's open NT Lite here. And there we go. And we're going to quickly do the free license here for non-commercial use. Click OK and accept those terms. And now we have our NT Lite open here. So what we can do is go to add image directory right there. So let's add our image directory. That's our DVD folder inside our toolkit. So select that. And that should now give us the option to mount our Windows 11 Pro. So I've done it. I've clicked on it, and now we've mounted it. And now you can start making some more changes. You can add registry tweaks here if you want, and all that kind of good stuff. It depends on how far you want to go exploring this. But there's quite a bit you can do with Entity Lite. You can even create your own ISO from scratch with Entity Lite as well. You don't have to use the MSMG toolkit. If you don't want to, you can simply use this tool. Both are good in their own right, but you can also use it in conjunction with it, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to components here, and you can see 57-bit linear address. I'm going to remove that right there. And we're also going to remove the virtualization app, detonate the virtualization there. We don't need any of that here. So I can remove that by simply unchecking the box. Now, if you need any of these things, then obviously don't remove it, because guess what's going to happen? It's not going to work. So use a bit of common sense when it comes to things you want to remove, things you need and things you don't need. So that's what we have here. So let's go ahead and use an experience virtualization. Let's remove that too, which is your web. I'm going to remove that. And then you can move on to the next selection, which is your remote access and privacy. So let's go into the remote access and privacy selection here, and we can start taking a look inside that. So I'm going to close that and go in there. And there are some things in here you can play with as well. So let's go ahead and remove this here. Branch cache client, we can remove that. And we can also remove the file server resource manager. We can remove that too. So be careful with what you're removing. If you don't know what they are, then just leave them alone. You don't need to complicate things. So we also need to get rid of the peer network in here. And you also have the remote desktop server there. There are a bunch of other things you can remove too if you want, but just inform yourself about them and make sure they won't break your system. If you remove them, that's fine. So let's go ahead and move on to the next phase. And now we can enter. Let's see here. We have some other areas we can enter. I don't need to go too crazy here because I've already used the MSMG toolkit. So within multimedia, there are some things you can remove and change. There's also a wallpaper you can put here if you want and change it from here. There are quite a few areas you can experiment with here, but this is for another video where it will be fully explored. I think I've made videos about that before, some time ago, but if you want to see an updated video on that, let me know in the comments section below. And there's also an app section up here. If you wanted to reuse this to remove the apps, you can do so. But we've already taken care of the apps in our other program, but they are listed right here. If you wanted to go through here, and this is where you can get everything about Cortana and things like that. Now, also, within the settings area here, we go to settings and we can look into the system here and you'll see. There are some small switches that you can turn on and off to make changes like the Microsoft account and things like remote desktop and other things like that. You can go through here and adjust this to your liking and make changes. Now we've already removed OneDrive and things like that, so we don't need to worry about any of that. But there might be some things here where you want to make changes and have it as you wish during the installation part. And we've already taken care of many of these things, but you can see here the local user account. You can see that we can basically manage that here as well. And I'll quickly show you how to do this. But I'm going to use an answer file to basically handle many of these things. But if you wanted to go through here and manage it here, you can do so and activate some of these to enable and disable some of these features. I'll quickly show you a couple here, like the configuration requirement for RAM or TPM and secure boot. You can disable these. But first, what you need to do is enable this feature up here. And once you've done that, you'll be able to disable these. So they won't ask for RAM or TPM, secure boot, or any of those things. So if you have incompatible hardware, you can use this method to bypass it as well. And it will be permanent, and you won't have to worry about it again. I'm not going to spend too much time on NT Lite because we've already done a lot of work. So what I'm going to do next is go to the application area here. And now we can remove non-essential additions, which is your win.pe version recovery area. Here, we can also use high compression. If we needed to have high ESD compression, instead of having the editable win version, we can change that right here, and then all we need to do, once we have made our selection, is basically create our ISO. So you can go through here and change some of the things you couldn't do in the other hit script. And once you are satisfied with what you have, you can then build your ISO. Alright, so let's quickly create this ISO, and I'll basically show you how it looks once we install it. So I'm going to proceed and do the high compression here. And we're also going to remove the wimpy version from this to make it smaller. And we can proceed and then create our ISO. So let's check the box to create ISO, and it will be called NT Live. Alright. And it will use the DVD folder for our image. And we're going to click OK here. And this will create our ISO. And it will take a little time, so be patient. And once it's built, you'll be able to install it. So press the progress button here, and this process will start. Alright, so let's proceed and add our answer file. So I'm going to use Anyburn here and choose my ISO, which is NTA Lite. And we will continue. And you can already see that an auto file, an unattended to index.ml, has been placed here. There's not much inside here, apart from the bypass, telemetry and things like that. So I'm going to delete this and put my own, which will have that and more registry tweaks inside, which I've already created off camera. Otherwise, it would have been too long for a video. So I'm going to proceed to add that and click next. And once we've done that, we can now create our ISO. So I'm going to proceed to create it and put it in our downloads folder here. And then we can create it, and I'll basically show you what it looks like once we've booted it up and installed it. Now we won't need to worry about entering a Microsoft account or anything like that, because we're going to skip all of that with our unattended answer file here. So what I'm going to do is open VMware and install this so you can see how it looks. And basically it will be super light and things like that. So we're going to press enter here and start from our ISO. And I'm going to proceed to install this on the system. Now, because we have the auto XML file, note that it's going to skip a lot of things here. You might see a couple of dialog boxes appearing. That's because I put a lot of things here to remove and disable stuff. During the installation process as well, if you want to see a video about that, I made one the other day. But if you want to see a more advanced one about that, let me know in the comments section. So, what will we do here? Now, as you can see, we only have one installation, which is our Windows 11 Pro. I'm going to proceed to install this and it will reach the account. And because we have that answer file, it will create our account for us. And skip all of this here. We don't have to worry about any of this. And it should take us to our desktop. And I'll show you what it looks like once you get to the desktop. Now, of course, you can make more adjustments here and have a dark theme, if you wish, in anti-light, and things like that if you wanted. But I can also run a quick script there to change all that with a batch file if I wanted, or I can do it during the enter light here and create my own wallpaper if I wanted. You can see that all the applications have been removed here. There are no applications there. There might be one or two that I overlooked, but it's pretty clean. A clean installation, as you can see here. And let me open this right here. And when you enter here, there will also be some privacy settings. Because I have that answer file and I have it all set up to add all this. When we are installing, you will probably notice that many of these things have been removed and disabled. By default, as you can see here, you won't have to go through this and do it yourself, because it has already been taken care of for you by putting that answer file there. And it takes care of all this. So you don't have to go through here and have to disable many of these things yourself manually. Now, of course, I could have done this later with a script if I wanted to, so if I wanted to go that route. But there are many different ways to do this. But you can see here that it is quite light. And let me quickly enable a dark theme here, so I can show you how it looks with some kind of dark theme. And then we can take a look now. I didn't remove the Microsoft Store because some people do use the Microsoft Store. But you might want to play a game there, and if you've removed it, you won't be able to play certain games. And Xbox is also still here. I haven't touched any of that either. The Copilot and all that kind of stuff have been removed. You can see that everything is gone. None of that is here. You can make some final adjustments here. I can also set this up if I wanted to, so I don't have to do it manually. Later on, I can set it up within the actual program, or even do it with a script if I wanted to. I'll quickly do it in a script now. There you have it. Now it's adjusted and I'll quickly show you how it looks. With the task manager here, we can take a look at the system resources for this particular build. So let me right-click on the taskbar here, open our task manager, and go to our DOS performance area, and take a look at our CPU and processes here. You can see that the memory is quite low, and we also have our CPU here. The processes are 71, which isn't too bad. No, utilization, pretty decent. Anyway, I think that will be all. That's basically how you can create your own custom Windows 11 ISO using MSMG, Toolkit, and also NT Lite. It's a really easy way to create a super lightweight version of Windows 11, and it should be quite fast, and you should have all your settings turned off. I also used Anyburn, and also used my own file, Unattended XML, to answer and change all those settings, avoiding all that. It's a lightweight version of Windows 11. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and what you would like to see next. I will be happy to make those videos for you. With that said, I think that will be all. I just want to give a thank you to all the YouTube members. I appreciate the support, and I'll see you in the next video or on the Discord server. For a chat, goodbye for now.
Very good, very good. Let's see. Hey, it's very good, very good. Very entertaining, guys. Super entertaining. Welcome, Spain first, to a group of the OWL community. Welcome, brother, please, right away. If you are a gold member, welcome. There is exclusive material for those who are also members of the OWI Gold community, the Golden Owls of the community. You can find it directly in the Discord group, everything in the section for members or also in posts. There is a link there that will react to the Yes Gold to OWI Gold. And you will directly have access to a lot of little things prepared by us, Spain first. It's not just the video, guys, it's not just the knowledge. There are also materials and tools and a lot of feedback. Yes, quite a lot, I would say. Perfect. Let's see. We have a question from our good friend Juan. Tell me, Juan, what happened?
Now that you mentioned it, Juan, look, apart from the links, the MS tool, do I...
Want it or not? Adjust the microphone, Juan. Please.
Can't you hear me?
You're direct, yes, we can hear you, but it sounds like you're in a box. Exactly.
One moment, please. The 50 cameras I have here. Stop. Thank you for your attention. Microphone to the mouth.
While you fix it, my dear, I'm going to mute for a bit. Check it. Well, and also another thing. Guys, those of us here, our good friend, well, Felix. Who else is here? Alejandro, Juan, Luis, Raul. Okay? Guys, let's get into the team directly that I have prepared for you, which is this one, okay? It's a computer that in the end, if we do little things, in fact, Jesus, you can now... I had already logged out of your computer a little while ago, okay? So there won't be any problem. Very well, now we are ready. Well, go ahead.
Can you hear me well now? Okay. Well, right now that you shared the MS as tool link, it says download folder. When I click download folder, it doesn't download. It takes me back to the page.
That's so curious. I'm glad you told me. Let's look at it together. I'm going to copy the container.
I don't want to think it's my device, but it takes me back to the page. It's on the global.
Let's put it here directly. It's going to have to be one by one. How annoying. Let's see. Download. Yes. The cache. We download. Download. Well, this is for the donation from the good friend of the creator. Then here, we also download this folder. There are a lot of things here. Let's see. Let's download. That return network button doesn't work if it returns you back. But I think the important thing is just the TalkieW so much. I'm going to click here on Nor downloads. Let's go directly. Right away. Let's extract it.
You have to go into the folder. You enter any of them there. It has... You click on download to completely download the pack. I don't think so because of the volume of information. It's about 60 kilos. And the tool that matters is the toolkit, not the first one. The first one. In packs, for example, you go into the one to give.
Or any of those, or Net 7. Have whichever you want. No. As it is, I'm not going to download it for you.
What, dude?
It's fine here. I already did it.
I use the tool to integrate the net, dog. I have to get into pack. I get in there. I want January 6th, for example.
Okay there. And you're not worth it, no, go there. And there where it says...
No.
Okay, excellent, thank you. Thank you, perfect. Ready, guys? Our good friend Socrates has already joined us. Our super philosopher, guys. Alright. Thanks, friend, for the feedback. Let's go down. I'm going to close this.
Don't forget to load it completely, because if I remember correctly, it's between 40 and 60.
More or less, right? Well, guys, Mopigron, welcome, brothers. And it's been a while. Who do we give to? Well, which one for the times? Aren't you well for the times, my good sir? Huh? Buddy? Who do we give to? Okay. It's done. I've also activated the shared screen for the Meet users because they weren't seeing anything at all. They were seeing everything delayed. And the idea is for them to see everything in real time. Let me know, guys. Raise your hand. Hey, Victor, help us out. We're here, brother. We're here. Yes, Lazy, that's it. Okay, well, my friends, we're going to give you... Okay, I'm going to put my face on, guys, here completely. But to you, my friends, those who are here, I need you to, please, I'm going to finish this. Since it's a matter that we are no longer interested in knowing. But here, you have the live. I will need, if you want, our friend Juan, Alejandro, Luis, all these little people who are here with me, in the Meet, download what is the Rudex software. It's a software similar to TeamViewer and AnyDesk, but it's open source, so that you can directly access this device. We are going to put into practice the knowledge directly from this person. Why am I doing it this way? You're not forced, obviously. If you have a good internet connection, you have a good device to recreate the ISO that we are going to make for the whole community or for all of us. Well, there's no problem. You create it from your device, and that's it. And if not, I offer you this computer, which comes with the following. Okay? There again, we are going to switch the yellow one. It currently comes with a 10th generation i3. It has 4 cores, 8 threads, nothing to scoff at. It comes with 16 gigabytes of RAM. We have, more than anything, 2 good storage options. Here, the mechanical one doesn't interest us much, but the ones we have here do. We have a Spectrix, right? NVMe, and we have a dedicated SSD to be able to run our virtualization environments. Here we are going to store our virtual environments. So, with this, we can do quite a lot if you wish. So, now I'm going to return to the camera here. How do you download Rudies, guys? Super simple. We go here. Rudies. This is the official page. I'll also directly share the direct link here with those who are in the NEP. Okay? Perfect. Okay? And we're going to click on download. That will take you to the official repository. If you're on Windows, Windows. If you're on Linux, Linux. And well, obviously depending on where you're going to install it, on which platform, right? You click here on .exe or .msi, preferably .exe. And that's it, you double click and the typical Windows next, and it installs, all right? And it will open a little window like the one we have here. Perfect, perfect. Spain first, perfect. Ah, okay, that's the nickname. Perfect, brother, perfect. Excellent, brother. You're all set. Well, who wants to give it a try, guys? Who wants to give it a try? Who wants to? Who
wants to?
You tell me, boys. Tell me, Georgie.
I'm going to give a big shout out for the people in the middle. Whoever is going to enter the machine, please let us know. I'm so and so. I'm such and such. So that everyone else knows. And there isn't any confusion of, oh no, this hero in this virtuous machine.
For now, please, whoever is about to enter or has entered, say aye. Whether you speak or send a message from me, you can write it. That's all. Well. As you might expect, indeed, without a doubt, certainly, and undoubtedly, without any hesitation, you will say, well, since no one dares, then I... Very well, Alejandro. All right, everyone, don't get nervous, guys. Please remember to stay calm, focused, and collected. Stay calm, composed, and steady. Breathe. What happened, Juan? Tell me.
I would really, truly like to join, but the basic concepts for making an ISO are terrible. And yes, I would be encouraged. Yes, I would be encouraged, but first, the experts, and then we'll see.
Cheer up, Juan, cheer up. I'll disconnect and we'll join. Everyone has to learn. And we'll guide you. That's the idea. As Alejandro says, it's about losing the fear, and well, if we mess up something, we'll guide you. There's the program so you can join. The link is in the Meet messages, so you can download the application. Everyone is definitely already doing it. Supporting Juan to encourage him to watch it. Let's watch it. While they plan, while we see who overcomes their fear, let's watch the second video from the second guest we had yesterday. Let's take a look at a bit of his methodology and decide together whether we start with that, start with another, or add something of our own creation together. If we make a good salad, okay? All right, let's do it. I'm going to move directly to the other one. This friend taught you a tool that many of us familiar with the Windows environment know quite well, right? Well, that's what we thought until we saw this video. Okay? Because there are little things we didn't touch on. I mean, most of those who, well, have made a tutorial on that tool in Spanish. I haven't seen something that really covers it with that. As if it were water, you know? With that expertise, right? But well, okay. Let's play a video so you don't get nervous. Let's put it here. It was the one, I think it was this one. It's a smaller video. It's a smaller video, perfect. I'm going to leave it on this side. I'm going to put this here. It's madness, guys. The switcher, coordinating the video call, sharing sound, being... No, guys, it's madness. It's madness, guys. I thought that ability had already faded away. But no. I think I'm not that old yet. What a wonder. Let's see, little tab. Like a platinum. Remember that the material you are watching right now, guys, along with me, is for platinum members. Right now you have the scoop once a month. Here with all of you, with the whole community listening, but if you want to see all the gossip in full, come to the meet and interact with us. Okay? And thanks to the good friend, Spain, first as well. Hopefully, more members can join the community of... We are going to undergo a metamorphosis in the coming weeks. Okay? In the coming weeks, we are going to undergo a super metamorphosis within the OWL memberships, because there will be something that many people have been waiting for many years. Many years. And while I'm not going to reveal more, I'll leave you a bit, as they say, with the expectation, because something super colossal is coming. Very well. I'm going to click here on the... Where is the... where did I leave it? There it is. Perfect. Very well. Ready? Prepared, guys? Shall we go? Perfect. Very well. Second methodology, implementation of tools together. And if not, we take the best of everything. And if you're still getting tangled up with the terminal, don't worry. Okay, I'll show you a way to have a graphical interface for everything we're going to see today. Let's hit play, guys.
What if you could download the ISO of Windows 11 or Windows 10 from the official Microsoft website? Perform a clean installation, but when you reach the desktop, it looks like this, with no bloatware, telemetry services, or spyware. And when you go to the task manager, you see this very low number of processes compared to the standard Windows installation, which comes with around 200 processes. So it's simply a Windows without bloatware and optimized for gaming from the start. That's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do today. We can achieve this optimized and clean Windows installation using custom response files or unattended files. These are supported by Microsoft and modify the Windows settings during installation. We can also use them to activate custom scripts, so you see the direction. So to start, of course you'll need to go to the description and download the Windows 11 or Windows 10 ISO file from the Microsoft website. For the purpose of the video, I'm going to choose Windows 11. Then, simply scroll down, select the multi-edition ISO, and click on Download Now. I have already downloaded the ISO file, which is right here. Next, we will need to create or download an unattended XML file. Now, what you can do is go to this website and generate your own custom unattended file with many settings and custom scripts you want to run. But the one I want to show today is called Unattended Winstall, and it's from memory now. This one has many popular scripts integrated, including Christie's Tech Tools, as well as many other custom scripts that will deflate and optimize your Windows. Here, click on the latest version under the releases. Then scroll down and click on the autounattend.xml, and the XML file will download. Now, since I've already downloaded it, it's right here. I will review this XML file at the end of the video and show you exactly what it does at each step. So for now, let's move on to how to use this within the ISO file. Now there are basically two methods. The first one is simple and easy, and it's using Rufus. For this, you will need a bootable USB drive, and we will create it through Rufus. So download it from the description and run it as an administrator. Once it opens, select your USB drive. Then proceed to select the ISO we just downloaded. Open it and click on Start. And make sure to uncheck all these options because this will create another unattended file, which we don't want because we already have our own customized file. So I'm going to click OK. And then it will completely format that USB drive and burn this ISO onto it. But before continuing, why use these answer files and not download a customized ISO? So we don't need to install any customized ISO that might have security issues because we can do this on the official Microsoft Windows ISOs, both for Windows 10 and Windows 11. Additionally, this is an official Microsoft feature that is completely safe, since everything inside the answer file is readable and any malicious content can be easily detected. Furthermore, you are not limited by the customizations that are already made in the customized ISOs, as you can practically customize everything yourself here. And once Rufus finishes, all you would need to do is open your USB drive, then copy this XML file and proceed to paste it in here. And that's it. Now you can boot from this USB drive and install an optimized and bloatware-free Windows 11 or Windows 10 if that's what you chose. The second method, which I actually prefer, integrates this auto-unattend file into the ISO itself. And it's done using a software called Anyburn, so just download it from the description. So, once you have downloaded and installed the software, simply open it and click on Edit Image File. Then, proceed to locate the ISO file we just downloaded for Windows 11 or Windows 10. And then, click on Open. Next, click on Next once more. And here. Now, drag and drop the downloaded auto-unattend file and you will see it here. Then, click on Next. Select the name of the image file. In my case, I'm going to remove this, English, to distinguish between the old and the new. Then click on Create Now, and this will create another ISO file that will have the auto-unattend file integrated within it. Now we have a customized ISO file with all our scripts integrated into it. I will press Exit, and we are going to start a virtual machine so I can guide you through the installation process. So here, as you can see, many CMD commands are appearing. And these are applying custom scripts to customize and optimize this Windows installation. And once the setup loads, you can see that there is this small window here, and if I maximize it, you can see what it is. Scanning the HI file of the newly created system registry to disable Windows Defender services. Now you should not close this script because it is required to run the following scripts as well. So let's continue. Minimize it. Then click Next. Select your keyboard. Press Next. Then here, click on I don't have a product key. Select Windows 11 Pro. Then press Next. And as you can see, it has skipped not only the license terms but also the Windows 11 and TPM requirements. Once we have the drive, I will proceed to install it on this drive. And then this minimalist Windows installation process will begin. As you can see, around 58% it will run many scripts. And these are the main scripts responsible for removing bloatware and optimizing Windows. So this might take some time and you just need to be patient. And finally, here we are in the out-of-the-box experience. This has been modified as you see, so I will select the country and region. Let's select the keyboard. Skip. And here it is. As you can see, there is no option for a Microsoft account. And I recommend that you don't use the Microsoft account, as it comes integrated with many telemetry and spyware services that you won't want running on your system. So this installation will allow you to create a local account. So I'm going to type Regnetic, then press Next, Next again, and we're done. Here we are. As you can see, the Start menu is completely clean and you can remove it with a right click. Click on Remove. You will see this screen. These recommended user settings were successfully applied and we can visit this script to reapply or revert them. Windows Defender is disabled. We can enable it here or from the script later on. I don't want to enable Defender, I'll leave it as it is. I also don't want to enable the WAC. I will proceed and click on Restart to apply the changes. Then, click on Yes and the system will restart. And now, after the first restart, everything is complete. So let's go to the Start menu, let's go to All Apps. And as you can see, the only things left here are the calculator, as well as Microsoft Edge and Notepad. And basically that's it. Everything else has been removed. And if I open the Windows settings, let's go to Privacy and Security. Let's go to Security. This, of course, is turned off. Let's go back and enter the general privacy settings. And everything here is also turned off. Let's move to the Task Manager and then review the processes. And as you can see, we are around 109 processes at the moment, which can be reduced even further. Of course, and we'll see that in a minute, but let's close this. And here on the desktop, as you can see, we have a PowerShell script. Simply right-click on it and run it as administrator. And here inside, if I go to Software and Applications, just by typing one and then pressing Enter, you can see that we can install software and remove unnecessary applications. So if I continue and press 2, then Enter. It asks if you want to remove all Windows applications now. These applications were removed with the unattended installation. But if you don't want a clean installation, you can simply use the script on your already reinstalled Windows, and it will do practically the same thing. Let's go back to the main menu and then go to Tasks and Services by typing 5 and then pressing Enter. Then I want the minimal services, so I'm going to type 1 and then press Enter and Service. Startup type successfully updated, press Enter to continue. And after the restart, those services should also be disabled. And after a restart, the processes are in the 90s, better. And now you can install your GPU drivers, update other drivers, install your games, use any custom browser. And that's it. And yes, now, let's inspect the AutoUnited file to see what it does and how. So I'm going to right-click on it and open it with a text editor. I'm going to use VS Code. The first section is for the x86 architecture. And this is for Windows 10 users because Windows 11 only has the 64-bit version. Let's move on to the 64-bit version of all these components. And here the architecture is AMD 64. And this is for 64-bit processors from Intel and AMD. Under the product key, it provides a generic key so you can select the version to install. It automatically accepts any of the licenses. It skips the Windows 11 requirements, verification of TPM, secure boot, storage, CPU, and RAM. Then, what it will do is simply disable Windows Defender from the start. Then, if I move even further down, it will prevent the detection of the Windows edition and force all available editions to be shown during installation. This is so you can choose your version. Whether you want to install the Pro version, the Home version, or any other version that is available within your ISO DOS file. Scrolling down, we are back to the x86 architecture. I will skip this part and move on to the x64 architecture. And now, here, it is going to run some scripts now for the Windows style. These are hidden. So many of these scripts are actually hidden within the Windows installation process. You can still see the windows appear and disappear. So this is going to disable the UAC, allow PowerShell scripts, skip the forced creation of Microsoft accounts, and enable .NET 3.5 for the Windows installation. Media creates a marker so you can run the specialized function. It also runs the recommended unattended installation scripts, creates a desktop shortcut for the unattended installation script, seen when installing Windows. Then it loads the default user registry so changes can be made to it, adds a bunch of registry keys, and temporarily disables all network adapters. So Windows does not update during the OOB, or out-of-box experience. Then, it simply skips a bunch of these agreements and EULA pages, which are part of the OOB itself. And finally, here are the scripts that run from the above. And as you can see, this is the main script that we also saw on the desktop. So basically you can review all these options and see what it is actually doing. For example, if I go here and you want to install a browser from the menu, you can see that it will install a browser using Winget, which is a kind of package manager for Windows, and then it will install any of the browsers you want. The same with removing all the bloatware, as well as different settings that can be changed from here. If I scroll even further down, you can see many of these registry keys that are being updated in the registry container. Basically, this is how everything is applied from the unattended Windows installation to the Windows ISO file. Yes, you can go and download it and modify it. For example, let's say you don't want to remove the Windows Store. You need to open this XML file in a text editor. Press Ctrl F. And we're going to search for Store and hit Enter until we reach this point. As you can see, that is going to remove the Microsoft Store. Under the function to remove bloatware applications, what you can do is simply go and delete this entire name here, as well as this comma. And that's it. Now, proceed to save this file, then copy it to your drive or burn it using Anyburn. Then simply install Windows, and this time you will have the Microsoft Store available on your Windows, as it will not be removed. Similarly, if you want to remove Notepad, type its name. You will need the correct name, like these, and save it. Add or remove any application and scripts from this file. I am going to go and install this customized Windows 11 on my main PC. In the meantime, watch this video to customize your Windows installation.
How's it going? How's it going? How did you like that, guys? A very good, but very good introduction, right? Very well. Now, Juan, tell me, brother.
What I saw, well, yesterday, I visited the page too, and I started to I translated it into Spanish because, as I've said, it's not very good. And with a daughter that I already have, does certain things than others it doesn't do. If I remember correctly, it had the option to, for example, move the bar in the center. The one that Windows 11 has, move it to the other side. However, when the installation finished, the bar was still in the center. I imagine, and maybe you have a little more experience in handling the inter-response, that since it's a crystallized ISO and ISO modified, well, not modified, you know, it shouldn't be these parameters that I proposed, or that's all. It should do it in all Windows installations, whether original or modified.
Yes, well, I think it was a bit intermittent. Go ahead, Raul, sorry.
Victor, from what I can see between one video and another, what I gather, or at least my opinion, is that in one you have more control in terms of system customization or optimization, and in the other you don't have it, in the sense that you only add an unattended setup, as they say, and it generates all the personalized work without knowing what is being manipulated. In quotes, that original Microsoft ISO that is being modified. While in the other, you are aware it's true. There is a time difference between one and the other because the work takes longer to complete. I think this takes suddenly, and I might be exaggerating, but it will be 10 minutes while the other might take you 4 hours. Just to give a time frame, a short time difference between one and the other, right? But I see that there is an issue of, what do you call it, suddenly losing that character of taking control over what you want to cut in terms of blogware, in terms of services that you don't need for an office end user, and in terms of the other that simply cut everything and that's it, right? Or I don't know how you might take it, right?
Okay, let's address the question now to move on with Spain and what Juan told me. Juan wanted, well, I understood why you got the microphone boxed again, brother. I think I understood from a little bit that I could gather from your lips was that you want to set or customize your taskbar so that you want to place it when making that customized use, whether on the left, right, or top, right? And when you finish doing that installation, other users also adopt that interface or customization that you gave at the graphical level. Is that okay?
Sorry. I've already adjusted the microphone. I don't know why it moves. I'll explain again. Very quickly, I went to the page, made an unattended file, and started to modify, well, to move the options, and there's an option that allows you to move the central bar to the left. Yes. I applied it to one I made, and it goes through the whole installation process. It does certain things, but the bar remained centered. I mean, even though I indicated it with the unattended file, it didn't obey and stayed in the center. I want to assume, and I hope I'm not wrong, if not, correct me, that this is for ISO files or Windows installations that have not been tampered with. Am I making myself clear? I mean, this unattended file has to be only for the files, the installations that come from Microsoft, I imagine, because with this modification I made, the installation should have obeyed me, and instead of placing it in the center, it should have placed it to the left. I imagine that's the doubt I have, whether the unattended file should work for all modified or unmodified versions of Windows, or if it's only for Microsoft's installation files.
In summary, my dear, if the file is handled as long as it is compatible with the versions, let's say we're talking about Windows 11, for example, we see that the response file formed by XML, by XPage, not only by the one suggested by these friends, can indeed modify or customize that graphical interface as we want, as long as we are under the 23H2, 22H2, and 21H2 builds of Windows 11. What happens with the scenario with 24H2? It doesn't respect it because something about the things that Microsoft, through the deep analysis that my entire team and I have done, including with the retro Windows versions, we are creating for the community members versions. Everything that is Platinum, Gold, Windows 7 RM, Windows XP RM, Windows 8, 8.1, any little thing you change in Windows 11 24H2, in terms of graphical interface, becomes very volatile or it doesn't respect it. So the only way it can really adapt to the graphical interface modifications of the end user from the taskbar, from the start button, contextual menus, iconography is through scripts. Through scripts and through what are known as DLLs. Very precise and exact DLLs. To also avoid creating a chain error that prevents the Microsoft Store, updates, and services, which are also fundamental, from working. But yes, there you have all the reasons. However, in Windows 10 there is no problem. Up to the latest version it works. It is still the version of Windows, well, everything that is part of the XML response file, to be able to customize as we want. From the graphical interface, from the optimization part, to killing some background process.
very, very stable. But 24A2 is something else. It's something else, my friend. But here we are going to analyze it. We are going to see it right now. Let's look at a response file and see if we can. What about the question that our good friend Raul also mentioned? We leave two methodologies, okay? And here we are going to present from these 2.2 and 22 contexts. 22 context, the first one. In this case, the first methodology gives you greater control with the MS Toolkit tool merged with the play and all the steps that haven't been done. My friend, you decide what to eliminate, what to touch, how it will behave, and everything we are going to add to that ISO or what we are going to purge without losing the system's stability. That's why I even tell you, you know what? Take a screenshot of the services we are seeing here, the bloatware I am removing, because it is also essential to know what type of bloatware needs to be removed. It's not about removing just for the sake of it. For example, a bloatware that we have already seen in the latest Windows builds, you touch it and it becomes a headache later. To enable it, creating a chain error with the microSD and Windows Update, Xbox. If you touch Xbox, remove Xbox and the other background elements of Xbox like the recording bar, even in Microsoft Edge, that ISO will become completely unattended and unusable for future updates, never ever unstable. So, yes, there you need to have a bit more expertise to know what to touch in the system and really have at least a knowledge of intermediate advanced. Now, what happens in another scenario, the second method we saw? What was it? The second method was through something we already know, something that is really already also very automated, but there are many times the fear, well, but how unattended are you making it for me? What are you touching? What scripts are you using? What type of request does your response file have to really trigger a chain optimization? We are even talking about it being based on the XML of WinHands from Microchip. This case of memory chip, where there is a new influencer recently working with many scripts and libraries from Microsoft, therefore there is no problem. Even the friend opened his Visual Code and analyzed each of the parameters we have in the response file. Obviously, to be able to analyze it, you must have a certain degree of intermediate to advanced knowledge to really know that it's not injecting something else in the background, right? But guys, today we have AI. You feed that response file to OpenAI, you give it to a Gemini, a Rock, or let's go to what is a Crew, which analyzes code and metadata to develop programming and more. It will really tell you if there is something that doesn't directly match with the hashes and official tools of scripted Microsoft, but that's what they don't tell you, right? But that's also good. It makes it easier for you because there is a lot there. It's more than anything 100% graphical tool. And it's much faster. And yes, between one process and another, there's a huge gap. In the other, it takes you longer, but yes, indeed, you have more control because you know what you're handling. Well, you save a lot of time, but that doesn't mean or diminish that the work is poorly done. It would even be good to do both methodologies right now, make an ISO with each one in their most basic versions, with all the hardware that Microsoft provides us, and see which one has better results. Versus the one Jesus showed us, which is based on a Windows 11 Enterprise LTC IoT. And there we see how we can get the best out of Google. Before moving on to you, Alejandro, it was Spain, right? Spain, yes. Yes, Spain, tell me now, brother.
Spain, what are they? Sorry.
Go ahead, friend.
Let's see, let me introduce myself. I'm Carlos, I'm from Spain and all that. You caught me because I have a bag, because I had cancer surgery some time ago and I was in the bathroom, sorry. No, basically what I was going to tell my friend Juan is that if he got an error like that was being managed by an organization or something like that, the issue with the bar, it's just that sometimes the unattended ISO, when you try to change something, it doesn't allow you because it says it's being managed by an organization or something like that. That happened to me. That's what I wanted to know, if that was the error. Anyway, a pleasure to be here, and I've loved meeting all of you.
Come on, Spain. Now, yes, Carlos, sorry. Carlos. Yes. No problem, brother. No problem. Now, yes, Alejandro.
Everything is great, Alejandro.
No, what I wanted to tell Juan, since he is very used to NT-Live, is that he can even modify the ISOs based on log files if he doesn't use NT-Live a lot. Although NT-Live has options to center the bar or place it to the side if you don't know how to use them, there are many log files to integrate them as responses. I often modify in that way to avoid tinkering too much with the NTLI options. And in this way, I set, for example, to show my PC, the user documents, the control panel on the desktop, etc. And that way I can integrate many updates and more.
All right, well, yes, the ISO I used is the 23H2. That's why with my son, I found it strange that the unlearned file didn't obey. In the option to move the bar, I mean, for me, all this is relatively new. Because as the colleagues say, I have gotten very used to NTS Lite. I haven't delved deeply into it. Precisely because we know that if it's not an option, it becomes explosive. So you need to have more than just the basic notion. I admit I have the basic notion, but I have ventured into making ISOs with modifications. For example, the example Victor gave of moving the Xbox and moving everything from Edge, and combinations of certain applications that are linked to each other, although it doesn't seem like they have that connection when the installation starts, or they are screens, or they tend to. I've had to deal with a black screen of updating. It starts to install, and boom, the black screen. And I don't get it out of there. I've ventured into doing those kinds of experiments. Even when my ISOs are already made, I install them on an external drive connected to the device, and they work. But on some occasions, that same ISO, that same installation, I apply it on my device, and it crashes. Let's go, for example, situations like the one they helped me try to resolve with Sandbox. Yes, this was also a disaster, a mess. And in the end, we discovered, and it was with Victor, that the 24H2 has the problem with Sandbox 23. 23H2. H2 doesn't have it. In fact, I install and uninstall it from my device, and it runs as if it were new. But there are options that Microsoft is moving, which they are restructuring according to them. And I agree with what many people who are dedicated to this say. It's so tinkered with, and sorry, the word Windows 24H2 by Microsoft, that they want to improve one thing and disable another. And when you disable the third or fourth doesn't work, it goes in a chain. So when you start to manipulate it, to customize it, it's a mess. It's a mess. And I took what Victor said in a certain broadcast to step down to the slider. It's more secure until now. And with the option from Chris Peacock, who also showed there in a live session, I tell you that just the updates of that build, of that version, and I don't move from there until they properly restructure 24H2 due to certain issues, because when you do this, installing a 24H2, it's failing, and customizing, it's a disaster.
Raul, tell me, brother.
Yes, I wanted to know how it could be optimized with the first method, with the second method, and with the method of Christitude, because they are completely different methods from each other in terms of optimizing and improving the performance of the ISO. What's it called? As you rightly mentioned, and I also said, I mean, there is greater control between one and the other, and the other is simply automation of optimization, and nothing more is done. And obviously including your method too, Victor, because I imagine you must have had or have a variety of ways to optimize and improve the performance of some system.
And a whole cocktail, and that's what you guys are going to learn right now, folks. That's why I tell you, feedback is great. I show my cards, as they say, like a good magician. You show yours and we create something emblematic for everyone, right? What I'm getting at is that, as you rightly say, the methodologies differ from one another, but, well, there's something in common here, isn't there? And even this person who explained the tool to us just said it with the unattended XML response file, right? From the second methodology, it is actually based on libraries and scripting. Microsoft, but also at the same time on libraries from our good friend Chris Tito's Tech. So, in some way, it goes in coalition, it goes together. When using these two tools, including WinHand from the same creator of Memory Sheet, it won't give you any problems if you use it within the ISO provided by the WinTools version, in this case, MicroWin by Chris Tito's Tech. It won't give you any inconvenience, on the contrary. It's a good cocktail. It will leave the ISO very, very optimized without losing stability, which is what I've been checking now. Regarding the first methodology, well, it's not advisable because people tell me, hey Victor, I do the first methodology that you just saw, then I apply the WinUtility tool, and then I encapsulate it again and put it into MicroWin. No, wait. That's already aberrant. That's not greed. Wait. No, thank you. Just because you're passing through several filters or various optimization software or different methodologies doesn't mean it's going to give you better performance, better stability, or the holy grail of the ISO. That's a lie. And unfortunately, many of the influencers I've seen, or most of them, tell you, don't worry, yes, you're going to have a super purged ISO. No, wait, no, it's not like that. It's not like that. Even in customized ISOs, right? What I don't understand is why these people who make customized ISOs still instill fear in all of you or all of us together. Why not be transparent and say how things are being done? Under what development process? Why are you implementing it that way? Well, knowledge is free, and if you have an idea and I have another, and at the same time I share with you what I know and you share what you know, we can add up and make a good coalition, partly in Benedict's context. This is where sometimes the business aspect comes in, you know, right? Like everyone earning for the house and nothing beyond, but, well, that's another type of idol. What I'm getting at is that right now we're going to see the live stream. We're going to finish it, guys, yes, directly. Here, on YouTube, so we can now move to the private part, guys, and I'm practically going to close the meet here, guys. No one else will be able to enter, so you're just a few minutes away from paying. Thank you. Now we will indeed do the colossal part that is also our turn. Even Socrates is going to create a new methodology for botting, including certain exceptions to be able to bot in a universal way, and something really great that you all will love. What else? Oh, sorry, there was request here. Sorry,
Are we ready?
Okay, tell me, Lorilo.
No, it's just to give a small clarification at this moment to Juan. When they were talking about editing 24H2, whether to modify it, to make it to one's liking and pleasure. Unfortunately, for practically a couple of months now, I've been seeing it, I've been following it both. Victor, with the issue that updates are coming out, both in the Canary versions, which for those who know is the practically experimental version, the rawest one, of Windows 24H2 and the developer version. Therefore, they are trying to fix and ruin at the same time nowadays if you can. Stay on Windows 10 until it runs out for you. If you are using the Home Pro version, or if you are on 23H2, there's no need to switch to 24. Many will say, no, it works fine for me. I haven't had any crashes. I have no problems. Great. I congratulate you. It's the best. It's very lucky that it doesn't happen to you. There are some of us who experienced it. I had problems with update issues with Windows 24 on my machine. We had problems with a processor that both Victor and I had, and it was practically a nightmare to solve. It was very complicated, which is 24, but what am I getting at? Try to find the most stable part. When it ends, only then move to 3. If you're going to work, you want to modify an ISO to your liking. At this moment, do it in 23 and stay in 23 for simple stability, knowing that nothing will happen to you nowadays. Something that many creators of customized ISOs often don't tell you, don't mention, or they go for simple fanboyism. That is to say, a game works for you. Let's talk about the gaming part, which is mostly what is most sought after. Sometimes I'll say your game runs at 30 FPS with me, so you will be around 100, 120, 150. It shows you a game, but there's something it doesn't show you. It doesn't show you how it's configured. At what resolution are you playing it? And it doesn't tell you what machine it's being tested on. That's something you also need to check. It's not the same as what I show you. Let's look at an example. A Ryzen 5 5600G without a graphics card with 16 GB of RAM, compared to when I add a 4060, a 3060 with 12 GB and play them at 1080, 720, at 4K. I can run a game at approximately 80, 90 frames per second with a graphics card at 60, respectively, which is quite impressive considering the performance. But I do it practically with the same ISO. That's the part they don't tell you, and you don't know what's being adjusted. And you have to be very careful with that. That's why it's always better to use the ISO you create for yourself. That's all.
Thanks for all the feedback.
Seriously, thank you, my friend. Come on, Umu. Felix, tell me. Go ahead, brother Felix. Well, goodbye, brothers.
Okay, well, let's move on with one. Let's see. If he comes back, I think he's having issues. Well, yes, with the audio. Come on, Juan.
Let's see if you can hear me, because I think the microphone acted up again.
Yes, yes.
It's fine. I don't know what's wrong with these headphones that keep connecting and disconnecting. It's an error. Well, I say we because we know we are the people, or we are customizers or optimizers of Windows. We recognize a Windows installation that is not ours. For example, in my case, when a device arrives, I know it's already been tampered with, that it's already manipulated by the behavior it exhibits, by all those types of registries and programming in PowerShell. We know what Windows comes with, and it happens that I already had a case where a client tells me they want me to leave Windows exactly as they have it. So it becomes a hassle, because you see it has a button one way, you have it another way, and you try to explain to the client that it's not possible because that installation, I call it tampered because we already know why. This is a tampered installation. It's an already modified installation over which I have no control on how it will behave. We don't know, and I've explained it to the client this way. We don't know if it has a back door. We don't know if it has remote access. We don't know if it can be updated and how frequently it updates. And Victor will agree with me. We must have a certain ethics when using an ISO. And as I heard from a colleague, we make the ISO for ourselves, but at the same time, we think that this ISO or this installation will be useful for the clients, because after all, that's how we make a living. If we make a customization that is not appropriate, or that seeks to take advantage of the client without them knowing, we are making a mistake.
For example, when I deliver the ISO and I make it personalized or as personalized as possible for the person, I tell them, here is your ISO, and I have remote access, but you will authorize me when I access the system. And I only condition that no one can manipulate the system except me. Because if another person, another technician, a friend, neighbor, family member, relative, whoever comes in and wants to manipulate what you have already done, they can make all mess of that installation. So I believe that this lesson we are having right now, this learning we are having right now, should also have a bit of ethics, that it is something that should prevail, and tell them, I did this for you. You can touch this, you can move the other, I can do this, I can do the other with your permission. I don't really know, Victor, if I disagree or if...
No, now you really have it. You mentioned very important points. And they say from A to Z how things should be, no more, no less, well, how it should be. Welcome to Times of Reform, Mr. Nobody, Ostar. What do you think of Minios? I can't say anything because I don't use it. It's that simple. I can't say anything because I don't use it. Now, with the other guys, I agree with Juan. Also with what Alejandro said. Raul, I think we are all on the same page and the time has come. Guys, we have something called artificial intelligence that if you know how to use it very well or have an intermediate knowledge, believe me, you will be pleasantly surprised because several of us, those of us who have been generating content, well, right now I am doing a whole course, a master course on artificial intelligence that I think has been seen a lot in the videos we have uploaded here on the channel. In fact, the clone we already have with expressions a little bit crazy, but artificial intelligence, and Whistle already teaches you as long as you use a good prompt, a good neural network, and a good LLM, right? Anyway, what I'm getting at, guys, we are facing something that many, I think, have not dared to say out of fear, out of anxiety. I've even seen some communities that develop or customize optimization tools, not only ISO, but certain optimizers to enhance our windows. But well, perhaps simply because it doesn't align with the creator's ideology, or simply because in some way, wrongly, they could help enhance even that same tool, but they take it the wrong way. That's where it sometimes hits the pride of the creator or the programmer. And well, that's another matter. But here is where, guys, you have a space. You have a space where we can talk here. Like right now, we've been live for 3 hours and 31 minutes. Here, right now, we're going to see the exciting part of this, to develop our ISO. If you don't currently have a computer directly, if you don't currently have the bandwidth to be able to make the tool, I'm going to provide you with a computer where we will all enter in multiple directions and create something very good. I hope you get excited. And before we say goodbye to YouTube, now I want to mention that our good friend Felix has the good microphone. Felix, tell me, brother, tell me. Express yourself.
Let's see. Well, I'm just happy with Spain just installed normally. I'm not a technician. I'm not a regular user. And I usually use Windows 10, L, etc. I have an Asus device.
It's what I usually tend to use.
Well, I'm happy I use an Asus XC5013. I think it's the motherboard, but I usually use the LCD. I don't use neither Windows 11 nor anything else. I changed it at the beginning of the year, and that's the only system I usually use. And that's it.
And everything has gone very well for you all this time, all these years. It hasn't given you any problems. everything has worked, let's say, for what you use it for. The device is now 2 years old.
This one is new, it's compatible with Windows 11, but for now, I continue with a well-functioning setup.
I've seen, well, I hope you like what we're going to create here, crazy brother, and you can also practice it, so my friends here on YouTube. Thank you for joining us for 3 hours and 33 minutes. I'm closing by what has been the meat call, and since we obviously spent so much time, guys, really, thank you for sharing those experiences. Thank you for sharing, well, obviously that feedback from everyone, including doubts, because that's what enriches and makes it follows a good salad, a good cocktail of what we are currently forging. And well, don't worry guys, if you want to interact more with these interactive live sessions, remember that for that we have the platinum members of the BUO community. Obviously in the Ugrongol membership, I clarify this once because I was also being asked, hey Victor, if I have Ugrongol, can I also enjoy this type of tools and materials? No. In Ugrongol, there are only some and other materials, but you obviously don't have all the live sessions, replays the live sessions that are available in this case. This live session, I'm going to do a small survey, send it out on WhatsApp. And if I see a good response, I'll make it public. I have no issue. Okay, but this is exclusive material for Platinum members so they can see what we are doing. We are reinventing with the Platinum members. I've been doing this interactive streaming part for quite a while now. And they have liked it a lot. So guys, thank you very much. Thanks to all of you. Thank you for your time. And let's go for the third round. Guys, now let's go into all mode because a good night session is coming. Come on. Thank you guys. We'll see each other here on YouTube. Until next time, learn and turn knowledge into action.
Thank you.